Okay, welcome back. Hopefully everyone can hear me, because I have no clue. I wasn't streaming in a very long time, so I hope these settings work. So welcome everyone. How is everyone doing? Are you all ready for WitcherCon? So this is gonna be a short pre-show. Before we begin, we're gonna talk about the show a little bit, and then in 30 minutes we have the show, and I do believe it's gonna run for 1 hour. I think that's something I had seen in like Google Docs, so should be 1 hour. We shall see. Hello everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. Axios, hello man. Uh, hey, where did you get the name Last Nomil from? I always wondered, man. It's so random, dude. Like, it's been so long since I made that name that it's just. Yeah, I'm checking out the Twitch right now. Yeah, you see, like, the problem with this, it's a hot tub. YouTube doesn't like that. Twitch likes it, YouTube doesn't. Because if I show this, there's a good chance that my video is going to be demonetized. It sucks, I know, but you can blame YouTube for that. Is the weather better right now? Man, we have either 40 plus degrees or we have storms. So that's basically it. Like, one day you have 40 plus degrees with like 100% humidity, and then the next day you have a storm, a thunderstorm with everything, and then again 40 degrees. So it's just terrible, man. Just terrible. I'm like, there wasn't electricity 1 hour before this due to the storm, so I couldn't have my AC on. So basically my room is like an oven. What have you been up to recently? So I took a short break, guys. As you can see, like 2 weeks, I just took a short break because I was working like all the way from like 2000 whatever year, non-stop, without taking any proper breaks. So I just said like, look, I'm gonna take 2 weeks. It's summer anyway. You know, they want to go outside because they were locked inside for a year. So it's like, yeah. Where am I from? I'm from Bosnia. Perfect listening material while at work. Hopefully your work is well, my friend. Grandpa says good luck with the stream, bruv. Thanks. Yeah, but the nickname is really random. Like, I was just looking for random words back in the day. Because you have to, like, when you're coming up with a username, it has to be something which can be discovered easily on YouTube, because if it's a name or a sentence or whatever which is like similar to other content on YouTube, like the problem comes is that algorithm doesn't place you well. So I do have an air conditioner, but there was no electricity, so I couldn't run it anyway. Now I can. I mean, I can't now because I'm recording. If I turn on the AC, you're just gonna get a lot of noise. Yeah, actually the stream is now fixed, so the stream doesn't have limited ads, but it doesn't count much for me because I don't run ads during the stream. Like, there is a button here, I can just click it and it's going to run an ad for everyone, but I don't like to do it because I don't know, if it was a longer stream, maybe for 3, 4, 5 hours, then yeah, but doesn't really make a point now, and a lot of people don't like to see ads anyway, so it's like, yeah. Hey, a lot of Balkan people actually here. Welcome, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, Bosnia, man. People still think I'm actually faking an accent. They think I'm from US or something. I mean, come on. If I was from US, that wouldn't be bad, because I would be able to visit all of the expos and everything. Which city? Tuzla. So how is it? There is 200 people actually on the stream. Hello everyone. I didn't expect a lot of people on the stream. Well, I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I wasn't streaming much. So basically when it comes to streams, like when we have these events, like I can do them on YouTube. But when it comes to gaming, like I'll just do it on Twitch. So you can follow me on Twitch basically. It's Last No Meal. Because I like streaming games here and like just doing stuff, being more relaxed on your stream, like looking at some content on YouTube, reacting to it, whatever. That's impossible to do when I'm streaming here. So when it comes to other streams, I'll just do them on Twitch because, I don't know. Like, if one thing comes up in a video game, let's say it's nudity, my stream is gonna be automatically either demonetized or it's gonna end or something. So Streaming on YouTube is bad. Like, it's just bad. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed the channel. Do you think we'll ever see a Witcher 1 remake? Not anytime soon, in my opinion. Like, it would be cool to do it, but I don't know. With all of the trouble CDPR is in right now. I mean, look, when it comes to like this WitcherCon, it's basically like it's a marketing collaboration. Like, CDPR on one side is gonna be using Netflix's audiences and whatever to market their stuff, and Netflix is gonna be using CDPR's audiences and, you know, resources and everything to do stuff, you know, because Netflix has rights to make a show, but CDPR has the rights to sell goodies. Netflix cannot sell goodies when it comes to The Witcher. Now, I do believe they somehow sorted that out in some areas, but in most areas, when it comes to like goodies and those figurines and stuff, CDPR has exclusive rights for that. Now, of course, there could be some new things added to the contract. There's a huge amount of money there, so it's not really a problem to do it. Did my god. So, my headphones just turned off because there is no any sound in it. How is this going? Okay, this guy is just chilling. 25 more minutes. I like how they did the hot tub stuff. Hey, greetings to Macedonian. Yeah, basically marketing. So what I basically expect here, I expect CDPR to show us The Witcher 3 next gen. I know someone said like they're not going to show it, but it doesn't make any sense to make a WitcherCon where everyone is looking at you, where you're about to show, like at least on Netflix side, you're about to show the season 2 of The Witcher. It doesn't make really any sense not to show anything from next gen edition of The Witcher. Like, I don't know, like again, I could be wrong. They might not show anything, but it would be kind of wasted opportunity if you ask me. But yeah, you can hear me good. That's good. Yeah. So I mean, this is good because headphones actually turn off by themselves, which is good. But sometimes when you're just doing something, there is no sound coming in. They're just gonna automatically shut down, which is not bad. It saves battery, if anything. I mean, they should be revealing. I think there was a few shots in that trailer for WitcherCon, and it was like blurred, and you can clearly see it was like The Witcher 3, either gameplay or a trailer gameplay or something. But I'm sure they're gonna show a teaser for Netflix The Witcher Season 2, because that would also make sense. I mean, that's the whole point of this convention, I guess, to promote The Witcher. Now is the time as any. And I mean, CDPR is not working on The Witcher 3. It's another studio, so. What's my expectancy for Witcher 4 in about 6 years, maybe? I really have no idea what we're gonna see because I don't want to say anything. Like, it can be something completely opposite. And at the same time, with the release of Cyberpunk, I'm just like, okay, take your time, reorganize your company, get everything right under control, and then kind of start working on it because, well, they're gonna have a lot to do when it comes to the next Witcher game, and I don't know, like this whole thing really like cost them a lot, this Cyberpunk release, but hey, it's going on the right track at least. And in some areas, when it comes to like stability, it's a bit better. Now we'll see what happens next. By the way, when it comes to Cyberpunk, there was an ad, like the biggest patch coming or something. I believe that's an old ad. So again, marketing screwed things up. So if you do see an update from Cyberpunk saying biggest update yet, blah blah blah, I think they actually ran that ad by mistake, and that was for previous patch. So yeah. Oh yeah, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. I hate asking, or just like, you don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. Like, it's for YouTube, and I'm sorry for camera glitching out. I'm fully aware of that. The Logitech stream cam is absolute, I can't even swear. It's bad. Like, it's really bad. But yeah, when it comes to Cyberpunk, I hope we like see like something proper in a DLC, because I don't believe they can go the route of The Witcher 3 when it comes to DLCs. It has to be something more substantial, just to keep the people, I guess, just to calm them down, because people are still not calm. What's my favorite mainstream YouTuber? Oh man, that's a tough question. I follow a lot of people. I like a lot of people on YouTube. Like, there's really a lot of talented people. I don't know who's my main though. I've been watching Twitch a lot lately. I don't know. Moon deals, when it comes to like that kind of content, that's expansion content. You're not going to see that in the DLC. Like, don't even expect it. Like, when it comes to like Crystal Palace, that's for an expansion if it happens. If that comes out as an expansion, but as a DLC, nah. It's gonna be something smaller. Yeah, it's not just bugs and glitches. There's a lot of narrative problems of Cyberpunk. There's a lot of good things about Cyberpunk. Like, there's a lot of moments in that game when it comes to quests and missions. Like, there's some really cool moments out there. In some areas, can it be revised? Definitely, yes. Especially from that RPG standpoint and how I imagined, basically, because Corpo and like Street Kid and Nomad, they kind of needed to be a little bit like separated, if you ask me. They all kind of became similar in the end. So yeah, maybe in the next game we'll see. Like, you can do nothing about it. Like, we can rage for years, but that's not gonna change a thing. Time will tell at the end of the day. Shame about Cyberpunk 2077 development being cancelled, except it's not cancelled. You probably read that somewhere from a clickbait article, or someone told you on Twitter and now you believe it, so yeah. Yeah, I mean, Cyberpunk has its good side, has its bad sides. Did they screw up the marketing a lot? Definitely, yes. Should they have been more open with the community? Absolutely, yes. But it is what it is. Maybe they learned, maybe they haven't. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't really beat my head too much around it. There's other games to play. Like, I have Elix coming out. I will of course follow Cyberpunk, but yeah, they're all basically Street Kid. Yeah, in most areas, yeah. Reading Last Wish. Oh yeah, that's a nice book. Wow, there's 300 people now. Welcome. Any other questions, by the way? You deserve more subs, bro. Honestly, like, when Cyberpunk was coming out, there was a lot of subs coming in, and I'm not gonna lie, it became a little bit too much. Because whenever you have a lot of people coming in, you have to scale quickly. That means more videos, that means keeping people entertained. So, like, this pace that I am right now, it actually works really well. Because, trust me, whenever you blow up too much, it can really, really become, like, just too much to handle sometimes. Especially if you're, like, a one-man team, like. I don't have editors, I have people obviously helping me in some areas, but most of the stuff is done by me. So when you have that, like, it can become, you know. Have I played The Last of Us? Of course. First game I love. I mean, second game, I don't know what to think about it. Like, it was Last of Us 2 is a decent game. Like, it's a good game, I'm not gonna lie, it's a good game. Story-wise, it's a bit all over the place, if you ask me. It has some good story moments as well, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything. I know some people haven't played yet. But like, presentation-wise and overall game-wise, like, Last of Us 2 is really cool when it comes to a lot of areas, especially like graphics, animations, a lot of that stuff is really well done. Sound design, like that's good. Like, story obviously could have been. What Remains of Edith Finch? I played that a while back. So when it comes to Cyberpunk, like, I don't want to burst your bubble, but there is not gonna be Cyberpunk here today. There is not gonna be Cyberpunk here today. Does it start in 7? Yeah. So 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, or 17 minutes 51 seconds, we're gonna be switching to the Twitch. And oh boy. Yeah. I mean, Last of Us, I don't know, like, the whole thing about Last of Us is just, that game had a lot. I mean, I don't, like, people have the problems with Abby and that stuff. I don't know, that was least of my worries in some areas. I don't know. Thoughts on ESO? I played ESO a little bit, but not too much. To be honest, after World of Warcraft, I'm not really ready to play any other MMORPGs. I played a lot, like, before, like Silk Road, Shaya, Aeon, World of Warcraft obviously, but after that I really couldn't get into another MMORPG because all of them take a lot of time. Like, people have been asking me about Final Fantasy MMO, I can't. It's too much. It's too much. Yeah. Yeah, someone keeps saying that we won't see the next gen Witcher 3. I don't like. It's possible, but it would be plain stupid not to show next gen. At least not to show a teaser or some images, like something, for people to catch on to. Because I don't know, the collaborative event like this, like it's a marketing thing. There has to be something connected to the marketing to get the most out of your investment, I guess. Wearing black in that heat? Well, I'm not in the sun though. Like, it's kind of bluish. But yeah, color is not really a problem if you're not in the sun. Like, there is no sun right now. It's like, it's cloudy, but the humidity is crazy and it's still very hot. People seriously think next gen Witcher 3 is a good idea. Why would it be a bad idea though? Why would it be a bad idea? Updated graphics, ability to play it free of charge. If the next gen Witcher was $50, I would say yeah, that sucks. But free? I don't think it's bad. I'm not nervous on the next gen Witcher 3. It's being done by a company which actually ported Witcher 3 on Switch. If they manage to port Witcher 3 on Switch, they can do anything. But yeah, I hope, like, at least frame rate wise, it's not gonna have issues. Like, CDPR cannot have another game with frame rate issues. Like, no. Like, what do you guys think about the Monster Hunter? That's coming out soon, and I'm sure there's gonna be talk around that. The new ARG game, the new Witcher ARG game from Spocco. What do you think about that? What's my favorite sorceress? Yennefer, of course. I mean, like, I don't know, I would take, is Shani a sorceress or a healer more? I think Shani is more of your healer type, but Yennefer. Yeah, like, honestly, I wanted to buy Switch just so I could try out, like, I believe they ported Doom and The Witcher, so. Red Dead Redemption 2, what do you think? I played it last night for a while. I love Red Dead Redemption. Like, I even play online. Like, I know online sucks, but like, I just play it alone and it's fun because it's immersive. At least, like, I just go hunt, I deliver moonshine and stuff in the game, so like, that's fun for me. But I really think online for Red Dead Redemption 2 can be 10 times better. Shadi human healer, yeah, she counts more as a scholar. You're absolutely right. What's the most exciting releases to come out in my opinion? Well, Stalker, Horizon Zero Dawn, oh, not Horizon, Horizon Forbidden West. What else do we have? We have that game, Dying Light 2. What else is interesting? I don't know. I'm kind of out of the loop with a lot of games lately, like, seriously, like. The hunting in Red Dead Redemption 2 is too addictive, yeah. My GPU is still 1070, like, I'm still waiting to buy 3080. I'm just gonna go, I think, to Austria in like September or something and buy it there, or Germany or somewhere. I can buy it today here, but they scalp the price so high that it's just insane. Like, it's insane to buy a GPU. It's like 5k. 3080 here is 5k. With scalping, of course. I never played. Have you ever played any Resident Evil franchise game? All of them. All of them. All of them. Like, that was my jam in PlayStation 1. Yeah, man, I really missed going live. I need to do this more often. It's so fun to interact with people. Like, really, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much. It really means a bunch. It really means... We have 12 minutes out and we're gonna switch to the... 3070 is under 1k? Yeah, maybe in Germany or somewhere. Hello from Brazil. Hello to Brazil. Hello. I have 1070, not 1080. Oh, 1080p. I mean, it's not really a problem. I can get 2080, but I need a good GPU because I need to stream, I need to render. It's not just for gaming. Like, I always make a PC not just for gaming. It has to be good for rendering. It has to be... And I also want to try out, like, the new Unreal Engine, and the best thing is gonna be with 3080, or, I mean, it's best with 3090, but that's too expensive and a bit of an overkill, if you ask me. Yeah, Bosnian scalpers, man, they're insane, these dudes, man. They're insane. How have I been? I've been great. Like, vacation, like, really worked, because, like, all of this was just getting too much. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, like, when Cyberpunk came out, like, it was too much sometimes, man. Like, you want to make a video, you want to go live, just play the game, just to, like, and there's a Cyberpunk this, Cyberpunk that. It's like, I know, but what can I do? Like, so that's why I kind of didn't go live for a very long period of time. I was just tired of repeating the same thing, you know, about Cyberpunk. Because I'm not just playing Cyberpunk, I also talk about other games, so it was impossible when the game came out. Are CPUs expensive in Bosnia? They're not really that expensive. When it comes to CPUs, we are good. Hello from Sri Lanka. Hello. Hello from India. Hello. Hello from Albania. Hello, my friend. 3080 is like 2.3k. Yeah. So it would be the same, like 2.3k. Then if you turn it into our money, that's 5k. Hey, these streams are great. Oh, thank you, Luigi. We have 10 more minutes before the start. Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, obviously the release of Cyberpunk and the problems with it was bad. But like, what can I do about it? I don't work for CDPR. I don't have... Like, people think I have too much say. I don't. No one really cares about me from CDPR in that sense, that I can say something and they're gonna listen. Don't... Oh man, you're overestimating me in a lot of fields. A link to your Twitch. Let me just see over here. I'll link it. Here you go. So I'll be just streaming games here. Yeah, here you go. So you can follow me there if you want. It's not cyber trash. It's a decent game. Like, does it have a lot of issues? Yes. But calling it cyber trash, I don't know. I can call a lot of games trash, man. But I don't, because I try to find good in every single game I play. Because we can go on and be like, just talk negative. What does it do? Like, nothing. People had too much of negative stuff. Like, people just want to chill out and talk about games and just play a game, enjoy a game. That's what this thing is all about. Playing a game, enjoying a game. If you don't enjoy it, play something else. It's that simple. I don't like Fortnite. I don't go to Fortnite streams and say, oh, Fortnite is this, Fortnite is that. I don't care. If someone enjoys playing Fortnite, that's good for you. You should enjoy it. I tried Fortnite once. I attack a guy, and the guy builds an Eiffel Tower in front of me. Like, I cannot build. I'm too slow. Man, like, these younger generations now, they're so fast. Like, they can... And they build you a castle, like, in a second. And they, like, open a window, they shoot you and they close the window. I'm like, I cannot follow that. I have to be slower. Just give me a gun. Let me shoot and walk. I can't think about building. You think CDPR will be bought in the future if someone has a lot of money and if their market cap goes down? Yeah. If not, then no. But, you know, sometimes, like, certain execs will take certain measures, so it's not really that easy to sell a company. We got 7 more minutes. Like it's not really that easy to acquire a company. It's not like, oh, I want to buy a company and that's it. It's a... Will they be bought in the future? Like, anything is possible. Everyone can be bought. But when or if that's gonna happen, I don't know. Like, that's difficult. Like, people said to me, like, oh, ZeniMax is never gonna be bought. Look at how. Well, that was checkmarked. I don't know. I'm happy with the Game Pass now. Like I get a lot of games for a cheap price. I don't mind that. Are you watching CDPR stream or Netflix stream? I'm gonna watch CDPR stream on Twitch. Because I don't know. It's just I don't know. Like I'm afraid if I watch Netflix's stream, something's gonna happen and I'm gonna get a copyright. There's probably gonna be a copyright notice after this stream. I'm sure of it. Like they provided some. Like there is a website if you want to co-stream, like they provided some music and one of those songs is toss a coin to your Witcher. I'm like, I ain't playing that on YouTube. If I play that, like they're gonna just nah. RPG is so misused term today, yeah. Like developers today are gonna give you an inventory screen, they're gonna give you a couple of skills and they're gonna call that an RPG. I mean, technically everything is role-playing game. You're role-playing something. Bulgaria? No, not even close. Xbox should actually buy CDPR. Like, Microsoft has money, but they don't have that much. And honestly, like, you sometimes have to think about, like, Microsoft already got maybe some things out of CDPR. Like, if they can achieve something without... If they can achieve something without buying a company, it's better to do it, because it's cheaper. Like... Thank you so much for doing this. Love the headphones. Oh, thanks, man. I'm not sponsored by any. I'm not wearing this because I'm sponsored. Like Jesus, no. Like just cable, man. Like I had headphones with a cable and it was so annoying. Okay, 5 more minutes until the stream starts. I had the cable ones and just man, it was bad. So I just decided I'm gonna invest in some wireless headset. It's good actually. Like I'm not paid to advertise this or anything, but these are decent headphones. Like the sound is good. If you ask me now, like which headphones are these, I don't even know. Some wireless HyperX. Yeah, for some reason people thought I'm from Texas. Yeah, Microsoft has bank, definitely. But like making a decision to acquire a studio for a couple of billion is not really an easy decision to do, because you gotta keep making money. Okay, 4 minutes and 30 seconds until this begins. What's my thought on VR? I love VR, but at least when in my opinion is I don't think the VR tech is here yet. Like I'm gonna be buying VR, but not maybe in like a couple of years, until like a couple of editions come out, until some of the things I fixed, because I believe a lot of people who have VR now are just beta testing a lot of those things, and I just don't want to invest in that tech this early, because I'm sure that there's gonna be next series which is gonna offer something crazy. So yeah. So I don't know. Favorite Witcher quest? The Bloody Baron. Definitely. That was a good quest, man. Oh, that was a good quest. I replayed it multiple times because I wanted to see all of the endings. That was a good quest. Xbox is Microsoft. Like, they're at the end of the day, Microsoft decides the future of Xbox. They are the bosses. What they say, it's the final, you know? Like, it's like you had a huge corporation and you had a bunch of smaller companies. You are the one who decides what's happening with them. So it's your decision to acquire a studio for Xbox. Like, Phil does have a say in that, obviously, as a head of Xbox, but ultimately it's the money guys up there which make those decisions, not him. No, I don't have any next gen consoles yet. Nah, not yet. I'll buy it. I'm just waiting for games to come out, then I'll get PlayStation. Cause I don't really feel a need for an Xbox console. I have Game Pass. Okay, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Favorite PS and MX exclusive? I love Forza Horizon a lot. And when it comes to PlayStation exclusive, a lot of games I like are not exclusives anymore. Oh man, I think Uncharted. Yeah, Uncharted is a really good game. Or good series in general. Especially Uncharted 4. Such a good game. Such a good presentation. What are my thoughts about the new Witcher game not having Geralt? I mean, Well, if, you know, it's a risk, but at the same time, like, it can be something good. You know, you don't know, like, you don't know if that's gonna be something good or bad at the end of the day. You don't know. Almost 400 people watching. Why is everyone here? What is going on? Okay, 1 minute and 38 seconds until... You look like Ryan Gosling. Yeah, I'm his body double. I need to call up Hollywood and say, like, do you need body doubles? Do you, like, need stuntmen? You need someone to stand in one place? Just made it in time. Hello, Kalenko. What's up? Favorite Witcher monster? Leshen. Yeah, Leshen. I like Uncharted games. I mean, I like all adventure games. I'm a huge fan of, like, Tomb Raider and stuff. Okay, this is starting in 1 minute. I'm just gonna switch it over to, like, this thing. Let me just increase the quality. I hope it's gonna be... Now look at this. On Twitch, that's okay. But I'm sure of it. When this stream ends, I'm gonna be in trouble when it comes to this. I think I screwed something up. Let me just do something for a quick second. Think it works now. Yeah. Oh, okay. 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 I couldn't see the chat. I need to pop out this chat. So if I put a chat here, are you going to see it? Nope. I don't even know, dude. Man, this guy is closest to Geralt when it comes to, like... Okay. I'll shut up.
Destiny has brought us here.
Will you be joining
Sorry
me?
about that.
I'm in. Prepare for epic reveals.
What have you done, Witcher?
Raise a toast to our special guests.
Brilliant. Geralt's
Can you
usually
hear it
so
now?
stingy with the details.
Welcome to WitcherCon.
Hell yeah. Let's see.
Winds howling.
Hello everyone around the world and welcome to the first ever WitcherCon. My name's Julia Hardy and I'm going to be your host for today.
There should be sound
I
now.
was trying to summarize and, put into words just what it means to me, to be the host of today's events. But then I realized if I did put it into words, it would just be the sound that only a dog could hear. So yeah, I'm just going to try and keep my cool today, but it is going to be a little bit challenging, not going to lie. Over the next few hours, I'll be taking you on a whirlwind journey through the world of The Witcher, together with Netflix and CD Projekt Red. And I can promise you that there's going to be tons of sneak peeks, never before heard stories, and special guests. Don't forget to share your favorite moments with us throughout the show, though, using the hashtag WitcherCon. Let's just get started. I think that's what we need to do, right? So we wouldn't be here without Andrzej Sapkowski, who obviously created the beloved Witcher world. Now, sadly, he can't join us in the studio today, but he did send us this personal message. So he says, "It gives me great pleasure to welcome all Witcher enthusiasts, fans of the books, the TV series, and the video games to the virtual WitcherCon convention. I'm sure that we'll all have grand fun, and when these challenging times are finally over, we'll meet again at WitcherCon," which is kind of really sweet. Oh, well,
He didn't
without
want to
further
come.
ado,
He's like,
let's
nah.
get started. Kicking us off is our house band, the amazing Marcin Pibivovic and Percival, who you might know as the musical masterminds responsible for the Witcher game soundtracks.
Oh, yeah.
Take it away, guys.
Let's see. Here comes the copyright strike. Is the stream stuttering, by the way? If it's stuttering, I'll do something about it. No stutter, good. Because it's stuttering here. I'm sweating. Richtig geil. Okay.
How epic was that? And with the musical mood set, it's time to tee up our first panel here at WitcherCon. And in true Witcher fashion, we are letting Destiny take the lead in this cast Q&A with a little bit of a twist. But
Man,
before we dive into the
it's
deck,
so
let me introduce our wonderful panelists. So joining the cast this season in the role of Lambert, a Witcher not to be messed with, here's Paul Bullion. How you doing, Paul?
Hi, I'm very good, thank you.
Hello.
It's
Yeah?
going to be fun, looking forward to this.
I feel like I need to shout a bit over there. Hey, how's it
Hey.
going? We can't wait to see what this enigmatic Nilfgaardian mage has in store for us in season 2. Fringilla herself, Mimi M. Kaiser.
Hello.
How you doing?
She got
It's
married.
really good to be here.
I'm slightly intimidated.
Because she has a
actually.
different
Why?
last name, I
don't know,
believe.
just
I was
Don't be
confused who it
intimidated, we're
was.
chilled. Look at my fan.
Look at that.
casual.
I could use one of
mischief,
those.
love it. Okay, a powerful sorceress, defender of the Northern Kingdoms and beloved by Geralt. Here's our Yennefer of Vengerberg, Anya Chalatra. Hi,
Hello.
how you doing?
Yeah, good.
I do feel like that we should give her a clap because we all know Yennefer loves a good clap.
Yeah, I do.
Inappropriate
Thank you.
moments.
I was waiting for it.
Is that what's going to happen to you for like the end of time? Just people.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Let's do this, Lambert.
Princess of Sintra, child of surprise, and now newest Witcher in training. It's our Ciri, Freya Allen. Hey, Freya.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
Good to have you here. This is great. We've got everyone, but wait, there's one more person we need to introduce. And finally, the woman at the heart of Netflix's The Witcher, showrunner and executive producer, Lauren Schmidt-Hisrig. How you doing, Lauren?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm really nervous. This is not what I normally do as a writer.
No, we're just having a bit of a chat. I know that there's like all these cameras here, but you know, just having a bit of chat. I'm a bit of a nerd. It's fine. Don't worry.
Great.
Okay. it's all
Oh yeah,
good.
they have most of them here.
I think we should
What is
see
Henry,
what
though?
the cards have in store for us. So welcome to the Deck of Destiny.
What?
I was told to shuffle them, but I'm wearing like nails today, and this is really problematic. I'm not gonna lie. So basically, instead of kind of running through, a list of kind of generic questions to our esteemed guests, I'm going to be choosing fan questions from random from the Deck of Destiny. So the contents of this deck are as much a mystery to me as they are to you, but the cards are going to reveal a surprise or two, I think. So let's do the first
hope a
card.
trailer.
Right, hold on, let me get this the right way around. Come
Hope
on.
it reveals a
Okay,
trailer.
Right, the first card. Okay. So this fan is clearly hungry for a little bit of a season 2 scoop. So Lauren, actually, why don't you take this one? How did you approach the relationship between Geralt and the other witches at Cairn?
Okay, it's a good
Because,
question.
it's like the homestead. What's going on?
It is the homestead. So much of what we talk about in The Witcher is about family. And so that's where we started this relationship with. Henry had Henry Cavill. Maybe you've heard of him.
I don't think we need to use surnames at this point, honestly.
Henry actually comes from a family of brothers. So it's something that we talked about a lot and what it is like to be part of a big family. He also comes from a military family. So we talked a lot about the Witchers being almost like a military family. They all go out, they sort of do, they have their own adventures. It's really dangerous. You never know if your brothers are going to come back home or not. But when they do, when they reunite every single winter, that's when they get to relax and just be themselves. So one of the most fun things that we did, and Paul can speak to this a little bit too, is just to make sure that they feel like, like actual brothers. They roughhouse a lot. They give each other a lot of, am I allowed to say curse words? A lot of stuff.
Not on my channel, please.
Oh no, amazing.
So no, they're constantly teasing each other. We just want to make sure that it felt, when they come together, light and fun, like real brothers would be.
I'm very excited about it.
Vin Diesel.
Okay, so Paul, what was it like to be kind of involved in that, to kind of be brought into Cairn and in that sort of Witcher,
Can't
thrown
wait to
in
see this guy's Lambert,
season
dude.
2?
It was quite surreal because I actually watched season 1 when it was released, knowing that I was going to be joining. in season 2, which was strange but exciting. And so to step into Kaer Morhen in season 2 and brought into the fold, and that way everyone was really welcoming. And like Lauren touched on there, Henry brought me into the conversation about how the Witchers were like a band of Navy SEALs. And yeah, and he would say, he would.
Did you bond? Do you have a bromance with Henry?
Well, he created an environment where we could have that on set, where we would laugh and would make jokes, and it all fed into the scenes really well. And it was the idea that we would die for each other. We are family through shared experiences.
That's super adorable.
Yeah.
I'm super into it.
It was good fun.
Okay. Say, on the back of that.
Yeah.
So we weren't in any scenes together.
Yeah.
But I would normally be in the morning after all the guys had been in.
Did it have a certain
And
musk
you would get
in
the
air?
stories of what.
And it was really fun for me because I was like the only girl amongst these guys. And it was hysterical. Like getting to be with you guys all day.
It was great.
It was quite funny.
And walking on set, and Freya would always have this look because you knew she was going to be like teasing and joining in with the fun. And I'd walk in and I could just feel Freya looking. I'd look over. I'd go, here we go. We've got a full day of this.
Our like how we are in real life is just like our characters.
I'm fully getting that vibe. Actually, I'm fully getting that vibe.
Honestly, taking out of them.
No, we love that.
Yeah,
love a
it's
bit of that.
fun.
Okay, so this one is for Anya. This one's for you. Okay. So, which monster would you most like to kiss? No, I'm just kidding. That's not really the question. Which is the one trait? Sorry. Which is the one trait
better
about
not
your
curse.
character's personality that you kind of absolutely love?
I'd have to say, where there's a will, there's a way with her. She is a survivor, and I love that about her. That would be my favourite.
Yeah.
There's lots. There's many traits I love. We've become quite similar, I think.
Yeah.
We inform each other, I think.
Okay, next question. Right, okay. Do the actors keep character notebooks? And if so, what kind of independent exercises and explorations do you do to kind of
character
refine
notebooks.
your characters?
I think. So it might not be a physical book that we keep a log or journey, but we do definitely always check in with each other in terms of where we are. And I do this thing a lot where, as an actor, I want to show my range and be like, do all these things, but actually to check in with each other and say, okay, we're not at that point of the story yet. We can fully immerse ourselves in what the truth is of that. And so I think a lot of us are very conscious of constantly checking in with each other to say, well, we're here in this relationship, or and even working with Eamon, sometimes you'll do a scene, he'll be like, we're not there yet. No, that's next ep.
Of course he does.
Not there yet.
That's the level
He
of
does.
Love it.
No. And I'm like, I was the only one in that scene. What do you mean we're not there yet? Excuse me.
Oh, amazing. Okay, we have another question now on the deck of destiny. Okay, so we've actually kind of struck gold here because this is actually a Gwent card from, the Witcher card game. So we can actually take a look here. We can see our Sunset Wanderers there. Look at that. Delightful.
Oh,
so,
sneak peek.
This
Okay.
one, I believe it's for Paul. Can you give us a sneak peek of a monster from season 2? Just one little one, please.
Well, we weren't really meant to be giving away any little sneak peeks, but
What? Why am I here?
Seeing as we've waited so long because of the world stopping, I think it's only fair that we give the first little sneak peek of one of the first monsters
Thank
of
you.
season 2. It's the Leshy.
Oof, let's take a look.
Oh, hell yeah.
You guys are such teasers.
This is
with
a
your
branch.
teasers. It's ridiculous. It's a bit
This
of a
is not the
pun or
Leshy.
something. What?
No, I saw it leave though. I was expecting like. Anyway, I'm not gonna.
Not yet.
Spoil. I was about to spoil.
But looks cool. It looks cool.
It must be really difficult
Like,
not to spoil things. I'll be
but-
like that. So, okay, this one's for you, Freya. Let me just turn over the card. Let's move along. Okay, so in the first season, this is obviously a fan question. In the first season, obviously, we kind of got glimpses of kind of Ciri's power, you know, her power. But are we going to see like a whole load of it in season 2, or is it a bit more kind of like drip fed, do you think, over the course of the season, or is it just going to go all in? Because, you know.
I mean, for Ciri, her whatever she possesses inside her is a very scary thing for her, and so she's not keen to start kind of confronting it. But I think you see that as time goes on and she's introduced to the right people, she realizes that actually it's far more beneficial to try and control whatever this is that she has than run away from it.
Yeah.
Which is what she's been doing for a lot of the time. But yeah, no, you're definitely going to get to see a lot of Ciri's potential in many different ways.
Yeah, I think actually also I just want to draw attention to obviously we've got some amazing fan art that's kind of happening behind. So if you actually take a look at this one, this is all the way from Hungary. I mean, I have to say, as actors, how often, like, I mean, you don't get drawn when you do other shows or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, it must be really fun to like kind of see all this art.
There's some amazing artwork. Wow, yeah, and even just seeing that, like, just a reminder.
Or something.
There's so much as well. Yeah.
It's just amazing to see how many people are inspired, and specifically what characters they're inspired by.
Yeah.
You know, it is, obviously the show is called The Witcher, but it's been fun as the person who sits back and has sort of been having these characters in my mind for so long to see how different people all over the world relate to, you know, all of these characters.
And I've never known so much anticipation around something they haven't seen yet. So like, they haven't seen Lambert yet.
But we know Lambert already, though.
Yeah.
And we've been wanting to see him.
And it's very strange as an actor to have images drawn of your character before they've even seen. And it's very flattering as well. But it just shows how much love for the show there is out there.
There is a lot of love.
Do they capture your hair well enough?
I think their hair would have its own gallery. I think, and we owe that the look, I suppose, to the pause. I just didn't cut my hair because I couldn't. So yeah, it was interesting when the head of hair and makeup just said, "Don't touch a thing, just come in." So yeah, call it the COVID look.
I mean, I know there's like clearly like so much to look forward to in season 2, but I think the next one's going to be for you, Anya. Let's turn over the card. Right. Okay. So before we kind of get into this, actually, I just wanted to point out there are some beautiful. Look at these Gwent cards here. There's Yennefer, you know, kind of being an absolute badass as usual. Actually, and Ciri as well. It's amazing. So yeah, what was the most exciting thing about you know, portraying Ciri and Yennefer's relationship? Because now we're kind of getting to the meat of it. It's good. I'm excited.
Well, we've never worked together, so we're so close, but we've never acted together, which was bizarre. Because we knew each other so well, because we went through the whole of the first season together. We were living, you know, so close to each other. So the most exciting thing for me was just getting to know what it's like to work with Freya and see what that dynamic was. And then that informs our relationship. Sorry?
Was it all right?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
It was amazing. She's amazing. And, you know, her character goes on such a journey. Like, from what I saw in season 1 to, you know, get to work with her at a point in this season, which is completely different, is, you know, is a joy.
Aww. So, like, it's so adorable and wholesome. I love it. Next card, I think. Sorry. Right, here we go. Mimi, let's take a look at this Fran art of Fringilla. It's really poetic. Look at it. It's called The Mist.
Oh,
so I think this next question is for you. So, yeah, what was the most challenging part about playing your character in the second series? Now that you know kind of more about her.
Yeah, I mean, I love her. I absolutely love her. We call her Fringy for short. And that's when we're feeling really endearing towards her. I would genuinely have days where I would read the scripts of things that she does sometimes, and my heart would break for her. Because I think there is a thing when you're an actor playing a character, you fall in love with them. And everything they do, even the worst things, you completely sympathize and want to cover them and be like, it's okay, we're going to get through that awful thing you did.
Well, I suppose you sort of have to, right, to understand the character, you have to understand the motivation.
Yeah, and also, like, the pain that you must be in to do that. And then I'd be like, oh my God, put the sword down.
Come on. you become like a best friend to your character. And anyone who messes with them, you're like,
excuse me.
No.
Yeah.
Don't talk about them like that.
So true. And your character's allies as well. So
Yeah.
even if an ally's not there, you're like, you better hold on. Because I understand them. And
I've looked into their souls.
That's true. You get so territorial.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it will come to do scenes and I'll be like, oh, why's she got to do that?
And then that comes from the human element in the show as well. Every character has, in the real world, everyone's represented by somebody in the show, I think.
Yeah. And I've definitely had moments in my life where I think, that wasn't a good decision.
Mimi is good actress. I mean, casting good, bad, wise, like...
and
I've seen her stuff, she knows how to act.
Trusting that journey and trusting that you don't need to know how it's resolved now.
Yes.
That was something that I kept having to remind myself of, thinking, we haven't seen that side or we haven't been there yet, and just trusting that right here, right now is really important for where she's going to go, wherever that may be. That was really great, when you're doing a sort of longer journey with somebody.
Amazing. Okay, so this question I think seems like a good one for Freya. This one's for you. So are we going to see any training sequences this season, are we? Because, you're not just suddenly a Witcher and then you're amazing. There's a lot of hard work involved.
There's a lot of hard work that's involved. Yes, you are. It was one of the things I was most excited about for season 2. Because I love doing all that. I love the stunt department. We have the best people involved with that, and they're so much fun.
Someone's hitting the microphone.
Like, get the best out of you. But yeah, no, Ciri begins training, and that actually becomes one of her main kind of drives. She's very determined, and she really wants to become like a great fighter and become a Witcher. And it's hard because she's got certain brotherly figures around her who are a little bit annoying, and
That's every brother, I think, in the whole world.
Yeah, and Geralt's being a little bit, not quite letting her reach the potential she wants to, which is very frustrating for her. But yeah, no, we actually have a funny story, me and Paul, because
this live mic is so annoying.
We do this one scene, and Lambert comes in, and he is meant to slice this dummy.
Go with that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's meant to slice this dummy. And each time he was just missing. And I tried to hold it together in the scene, but I just couldn't help but burst into laughter, because every time it was just failing. We were trying to continue on with the scene, but it just wasn't.
When I do finally in half, Freya's very aware that the camera is over her shoulder and they're not getting her reaction. So I look up to just Freya's trying not to make eye contact with me because she's laughing, and I'm meant to be stern, and I'm just looking at Freya laughing, and then
I was literally just like this. I was like.
and then they shout cut, and she goes, finally.
This is great, although difficult, I presume, for acting when someone's totally...
Oh, it really was a joy, really. We had a lot of fun during that sequence, and we're very competitive in a fun way, offset.
Like any
anyway.
actor.
I mean,
Yeah, and then it came to a scene where I had to chop the head off of one, and the AD goes, you better beat Paul. And I literally do first take, and the head goes flying off, and I was
amazing.
Like, yes, can't wait to tell one.
I think we've actually got a picture of you guys training. Yeah. Let's have a look. I mean, look at that.
Oh yeah, some images,
Was
nice.
that particular scene you were talking about where you were
Yeah,
laughing in his face? You're like, thanks. Ruined my day of acting.
We have something, guys. An image.
It was good fun.
Oh. I mean, but how was the weapons training? How did you enjoy it?
No, I really enjoyed it. I mean, as a kid, I think one of my first memories, I was about 2 or 3, and our local pound shop, they had those plastic swords, they used to fall apart after like a day.
Yeah.
But I used to always get one when I was in that pound shop, and I used to pretend that I was running around my garden into the bushes, like...
You're living your childhood fantasy right now.
Now it's like a profession.
You get paid for it.
Yeah.
Someone's giving you money to live out your childhood dream.
30 years later,
life suddenly came together. Good for you.
No, it's great fun, and you know, like Fred touched on there, the stunt department, the fight choreography, you know, it's top, and it's a great atmosphere when you go into the stunt rehearsal because it's a load of big kids that love doing what they do, and you get to go in there and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So I guess we should ask, probably Lauren, you've been sitting here, I haven't thrown anything to you for a little while, so I think I might. You're all right, you're just enjoying it, like, whatever, it's totally fine. So we've got a lot of new characters announced for season 2, and obviously, you know, yourself as a big fan of the original material. Which one are you most excited to see? Are you allowed to have a favourite, though? Because maybe you're not. I don't know how that works.
I think they're done in 5 minutes.
My favorite
I believe
child.
so.
That's really hard.
I mean, but everyone has one. They deny it, but they do.
Okay, I have one.
A favourite child?
Don't tell my sons. No, I mean, there are so many characters that we're introducing. We are getting to see Dijkstra for the first time in sort of the Redanian kingdoms. I know a lot of fans are excited to meet Philippa for the first time. Codringer and Fen, Rience, Nenica, there's, I mean, so many. But I would have to say Vesemir is the one I'm looking most forward to our audience meeting.
Oh yeah.
You know, Vesemir is so
good
integral
casting.
to the story that we're telling this season. Obviously, we're returning to Kaer Morhen for the first time. And in a season that is about Geralt becoming a father to Ciri, it felt so important to meet who his father figure was. And you end up with this multi-generational story because Vesemir and Ciri have a story as well. And it does start to feel like, oh, all of these people are meant to be interacting and learning from each other and fighting with each other. I mean, it doesn't all go well all the time.
No, family does.
But it's and Kim Bodnia, who plays Vesemir,
What happened?
is
Sorry, the casting on that. I just have to small aside. Oh my God, perfection.
perfection.
What's
Like
going
all of a
on?
sudden you're like, obviously, it's him.
Obviously.
I mean, who else could it be?
Yes. I just today was watching an episode, and it's a scene that we actually were kind of struggling with. It was a scene that took an entire day to shoot, and it was just Vesemir and Ciri in a Kaer Morhen lab, and we were struggling with it so much because it's such an emotional scene and so much happens. And I have to say, probably my favorite scene of the season. It is so.
Is it
beautifully
stuttering now?
and glorious, and I cry, and I see it a lot. So.
I sort of want to know
Man,
more,
it's
but I don't wanna know
Stutterfest
more,
over
this is making
here.
it harder.
Goddamn OBS.
I do feel like the deck of Destiny hasn't disappointed, and I don't want to kind of push like our luck a little bit, but to be honest with you, I just want to keep asking you guys questions if that's all right. So I think
Why
we'll
are,
go for another round.
why are people so obsessed with skin
all right.
color? Like,
Oh, okay, well, this isn't useful. There's like a
Man.
J here, and I don't know if that's
I'm
like
too
a
lazy
joker.
to worry
Is it
about
just-
that. If someone
Oh, no,
knows
it can
how
be-
to act,
okay, all right. Yeah,
for me that's
yes,
enough.
yeah.
If not, then
There
it
he
doesn't
is.
There
matter.
he is. Look at him,
Who you
little
cast.
sweet face.
He is good casting
And I
though.
believe that
You have to
Joey can
admit.
actually join us right
Joey
now.
Beatty is good actor.
Hey gang,
Like he
my
fits
name's
the role
Joey.
really
I play
well.
Jaskier in The Witcher, which I assume you knew because you're all here and you're all massive nerds. I'm very sorry that I can't be there in person today.
Good.
I'm
Good.
actually
Sounds
working on
good.
another project, hence the beard. But I'm here to answer some of your questions that have been forwarded onto me, and also give you a little sneak peek, a little surprise at the end. This is from Sally. Hi, Sally. Dear Joey, oh my God, you're amazing.
Yeah, it's just acting what it matters at the end of the day.
There
I'm a
is
producer,
no
like I graduated from production.
question.
For me, it's just
Who
it's
vetted
not act.
these? I feel this one is from John. Hi John. Dear Joey, will there be a hat in season 2? Gotta let the hat thing go, guys.
No,
It's
you're gonna
getting
get
weird
the
now.
hat, man.
That being said, there might be a small amount of hat in it for about 47 seconds. Finally, we've got one. Oh, this is a lovely one. It's got lots of stickers on it. It's got a bit of crayon. Hi, Joey. Hiya. Is it a burden playing someone as talented and funny and brilliant and talented as Jaskier?
This
No.
guy, man.
And that's from Henry. Henry, did you send? You know what? I'm just gonna ignore this and the drawings that you've done. There's 2 little stick figures there, and underneath it says "best friends."
Can we see it?
Just gonna ignore that. finally, hopefully you've been waiting for this for a while, I know, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. I'm going to give you a little sneak preview of Jaskier's new look in season 2. He's gone a bit more rock and roll. I think it's
What?
It's definitely something. Let's bring it up so everyone can see. And there he is.
Oh, this is decent.
What a what a moron.
All right, this looks nice.
That was actually taken. That's just a photo of me from my local pub. You can tell because everyone around me is incredibly bored. I hope you enjoyed that little sneak preview. I cannot wait to share this season with you later in the year. But until then, I'm just gonna go and burn this. Lots of love, everyone. Take care.
Well, much like his character, Joey certainly knows how to leave his audience entertained. Yeah.
What's going on?
But seeing season 2 Jaskier made me even more kind of like curious. So I feel like Deck of Destiny, we definitely need to turn to you once more and show me what you got. All right. Okay.
A trailer.
Right. Ready. So this one says, which scene or sequence was the most fun to film? I think, Paul, why didn't you take this one?
Okay. I have to say, probably the training sequence with Freya, Lambert, Cohen, and Ciri. I remember it took a couple of weeks. It was quite hot summertime, and we had all the fake snow everywhere, and it was quite strange to have that combination to be cold in the boiling hot. And it was just so much fun. I think that was a real camaraderie starting to kick in, because it was quite near the start of the shoot, I think. And again, in the spirit of competition, I made a passing comment about how much I like sour sweets. And Freya said, I bet I can eat more than you. So I took that as a challenge. So I'm online trying to find the most sour sweets I could find. I'll bring them to set the next day and cut to Freya with so many sour sweets. Yas, who plays Cohen, his eyes are streaming. I'm coughing. She wins.
Really? I haven't even eaten sugar in so long as well, and we'd force it down. And I literally, my cheeks look like a...
bulging.
Yeah, but
The most important thing is that you won, though.
yes. Yeah.
But she did have to go to set with a blue tongue, so I wasn't very popular with the makeup department.
Oh, it sounds like a blooming holiday camp, this. It's great. I'm fully into it. Okay, next question. Right, okay, so here's a kind of fun one for you. So show Witcher fans a collectible figure. So I believe, actually, this is, Anya, one for you.
We're gonna be here till tomorrow, boys. A lot of cards here.
So, Dark Horse produced high-end figures that are coming out at the end of this year. But we have a teaser for you now, I believe.
Ponderous.
And if you stay tuned, you'll be able to see it.
So they got the rights. They got the rights for figurines.
And so I believe the pre-sale date is 23rd of July for that. So mark that in your diary. So look at that. Pensive.
Amazing.
Yes. Okay, right. One final card for you guys from the Deck of Destiny. So let's make it count. So the card is asking us to reveal your favourite photo of Ciri and Geralt. And actually, I'm a little bit ahead, I think, of you guys here, as I have a little surprise for you. Netflix, can you reveal my new favourite photo, actually? Boom.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's amazing.
But I think more importantly, for everyone is that
December
there's other words
17th.
at the bottom there.
There's a date listed.
We have a reveal date.
Oh my!
Look at that.
Unexpected.
Didn't you know?
This is a surprise to everyone here. December 17th, we are doing The Witcher Season 2.
You've made our Christmas. Look at that. That's it. Brilliant.
Now we
Witcher
can-
Christmas.
We have an answer for people now.
Yes, we finally can answer people
December
when they ask us.
17th. There it is.
I mean, Lauren, obviously, I want to know everything about season 2, but don't spoil anything. But can you tell me more about, Ciri and Geralt's journey, but without spoiling anything? But can you tell me everything, but without spoiling
as expected.
anything?
Without spoiling anything, we could tell you everything that we've done. Yes, of course. No, obviously at the end of season 1, we have what I think is one of the sort of most emotional scenes that we've done, which is Geralt and Ciri finding each other after they've both been searching all season. And we get this super emotional hug between them, and it seems like, you know, we've got father figure and daughter figure, and everything's going to be perfect at that point. Except for they've never met. And so it was really fun to start season 2 thinking about, well, they're not a family yet. How do they grow to be one? What do you do if you are a person like Geralt is, who has sworn he doesn't need anyone in the world whatsoever? And then he's presented with a girl who's now solely in his care. And we have Ciri, who's used to being under the care of people, but now has basically been running from everyone for an entire season, and now being told that, you know, this person is going to take care of you. And so it was really fun to start season 2 kind of with them a little uncertain about how to be with each other. Yeah. And they have to really grow into that. We wanted to make sure that felt like an authentic relationship, that they weren't just bonded at the very beginning.
Yeah, and it's the reality of the situation is Ciri has a lot, like, struggles to trust people after her journey to Geralt. And so it's not easy for her to just open up. And also she's got a lot of things that she doesn't want to open up about. And so it's kind of that dynamic of Geralt trying to understand this girl, and she's resisting it a little bit. But Geralt's not always going about it the right way. And it's that kind of, sometimes they're knocking heads, but eventually they do become, you see them become a team, and that's when it's like so lovely. And there's a scene at the end of episode 1 that's probably one of my favorite scenes that we shot, which is like you see a glimmer of what their relationship could become, and the trust that could be forming between the two of them, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah, that's such an amazing scene, and it sticks out in my brain because as an American, I use the word "okay" a lot. That's how we respond to things. And it was Freya who was like, "You should know that Brits don't really say okay, we say all right." And I'm like, oh, like it's probably in the script 100 times, like okay. And it's the final word of that scene, and it is oddly so powerful because it is an acceptance of the two of them having to start to trust each other, and it's just
getting a bit emotional.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful.
No, it's going to be amazing. So excited. Oh, it's ever the fine line between knowing everything and not knowing anything, but then being surprised, but also knowing everything.
It's
tricky.
All right. Now
Exactly. You can plan my diary around that. So I should obviously say, later in the show, of course, we're going to be having a chat with the man himself, Geralt. Henry is going to be having a chat. Not that I'm salty that he's not here right now or anything. But I think it's all the time we have with the Deck of Destiny. So I just want to say a massive thank you to all of our panelists. Thank you so much for joining us. It was really, really enjoyable. And I hope you guys enjoyed the panel. And thanks so much for all your questions, all you guys back at home. But do stay tuned because there's so much more Witcher business brewing. And we're moving straight from one card game into another. And if you're wondering what on earth we were talking about, you know, when we mentioned Gwent, the Witcher card game earlier, then stick around for a short explainer coming right up.
Over here. Alright.
Set in a dark and twisted world full of witchers, monsters, knights, and sorceresses, Gwent is a card game where armies clash and you, as commander, lead the charge. You engage in battles divided into rounds. To win a round, you need to gain more points than your opponent. To win a battle, you need to claim victory in 2 out of 3 rounds. Sound easy? Trust me, it won't be. Behold your favorite characters, beautifully drawn and animated. Outsmart your opponents on the battlefield, and expand your collection of cards just by playing. Powerful armies and mighty commanders, tough choices and brutal consequences. This is the world of the Witcher, and it's at your fingertips. So see you on the battlefield.
Alright. So this is general Gwent trailer, I guess. I haven't played this in a while, like, the game just became too complicated, like... Okay. What do we have now?
I mean, note to self, obviously get myself some Gwent cards, but also note to panel, I desperately need more information about season 2. I mean, you can't leave us hanging like this after that last reveal. Look, Freya, okay, come on, Freya, you've got some juicy what can you give me, please? Just a
I think
teaser,
I can
please.
help you out there. As you know, Ciri's going through some pretty serious life changes next season, but the magic and drama aren't just unfolding on screen. Join me as we take a little peek behind the scenes.
Well, gee, oh my god. Please don't have nudity, like, I cannot handle YouTube anymore.
I was very happy with season 1 because it was so well received and so many people contacted me telling me how much they loved it. So, you know, I was just over the moon.
I was thrown into season 1. I was very new to it all and really had to just learn on the job.
We were nervous because obviously we loved it because we put blood, sweat and tears into it. But I'm so glad the audience loved it as well.
I actually do have a lot of lovely memories from season 1. I remember I just loved shooting episode 1. After her, I'm literally just running through the woods constantly. Always just running away from everyone. And I feel like this season you really see her grow.
Alright.
I have favourite scenes from season 1, but I loved my whole journey with Yennefer. This season, everyone worked their ass off to make this happen.
And so I'm just excited for people to see everyone's hard work.
I mean, that's what we do it for. We do it for the fans, and the fact that gaming fans loved it as well as the new fans that were coming on board was just brilliant.
Can't wait, actually, for people to see this season.
Man, these productions need to know, like, what's bad with showing a teaser trailer, man?
When it comes to the Witcher series, extraordinary talent isn't just on screen, it's behind the scenes too. In this installment of the Humans of the Continent series, Netflix's master armorer Nick Jeffries shows us just what goes into making the weapons of the continent. Have a look for yourself.
Hi, I'm Nick Jeffries. I'm the Master Armourer for The Witcher. I design the weapons for The Witcher. I'm also in charge of the armoury department.
This is the new guy, by the way.
This is a medieval dagger. It does exactly what it says on the tin. And it also has the ears at the top, which allow you to put a thumb on it for a very powerful strike. So here we have Yarpen's hammer.
Name's Yarpen Zikarin.
This was a
Yarpen's also
Nilfgaard
great.
sentry who unfortunately was a little bit rude to Yarpen, so he cut his wrist off and he cast it in bronze.
If you had to pick, which monster would you fight and which of your weapons would you use?
I'd fight the smallest monster and I'd shoot it straight between the eyes with a Colt 45. What type of monster would I fight?
Oh, dude. Man's going on a battlefield with a Colt, man. Oh man, I need someone to make me this intro. Alright? These are the episodes. 2. Redanian Intelligence. Oh my god. Ah, nice titles though. Top Secret.
For over 13 years, the Witcher games have captured the imagination of gamers worldwide. Next up, the developers behind the successful series discuss how they brought the Witcher universe to life, uncovering forgotten artifacts and touching upon favorite moments in the process. Let's have a look.
All right.
Hello, everyone. We are here today to talk to you a little bit about how we make the stories for our Witcher games. So for everyone who might not know what our Witcher games are, essentially you are playing as the Witcher, Geralt of Rivia, and you are exploring the world of the Witcher, and you basically do your job, and you experience many different stories that we also refer to as quests. So those are the missions you undertake in this world. I work as a lead acting quest designer in Warsaw, and with me is Błażej.
Hello, I'm Błażej Augustynek. I'm the acting lead quest designer for Kraków, the Krakow studio. I've worked on The Witcher and Cyberpunk, been in the studio for 7 or 8 years, I think.
So my name is Philip Weber, and then I just really want to get into the first of the topics that we want to talk about today. And that is essentially what makes our games unique. Since, there's many different ways of exploring and experiencing The Witcher. There are, of course, the original books by Andrzej Sapkowski, and then there's also, of course, the Netflix series. So we want to talk a little bit about what makes these games special.
True. Well, games as a medium are very different from books. That goes without saying. For us, it's important because it allows us to immerse you as the player into the world in a way that any other medium cannot do. Which is really exciting as an opportunity for a game developer. Also, we've set the games in the timeline after the books, which gives us basically the whole world as a blank canvas, right? In which we can tell our own stories. The challenge there, though, is to make these stories feel like they belong in that world, like they are part of it. Like if Andrzej Sapkowski were to make a game, that would be the game he would make. That's our hope, at least, right?
Yeah, and there's lots of questions we basically had to answer. So as an example, when the first Witcher game was developed, it was started in 2002, and basically it wasn't even clear yet if we're even gonna play as Geralt of Rivia. Because basically the thought was maybe we could make our own Witcher. So for the first few years, basically, we tried to make it so you can make your own Witcher and you're exploring new lands. But then over and over, kind of the question came, the game is called The Witcher. Everyone who loves the books really likes...
know who The Witcher is, right?
Exactly, it's Geralt of Rivia. Everyone wants to play as The Witcher. So, at some point, I think everyone kind of realized, we want to be Geralt of Rivia, we want to be The Witcher, and then we basically continued the story, and we made up our own, continuation of whatever happens, and introduced back all of these characters that people actually grew to love. Alright, so we already talked a little bit about how we started, when we decided to make Geralt of Rivia, but maybe let's go even further back to the start. How do we even start, thinking about these stories that we then turn into video games?
Yeah, so, well, obviously you start by reading the books and getting to know the lore, etc., but it's deeper than that, because we have to go to the inspiration for our own inspiration, which means to all the stuff that inspired the author of the series, and this is also inspiring for us, and we use it to build our worlds in the game, right? So it's kind of like a postmodern deconstruction almost of fairy tales and all the Slavic mythology that we use, or for the case of Beauclerc we also use sorry for my French, chanson de geste of Roman mythology. So for us, we use all of that as inspiration, and the deconstruction comes from the fact that we put real people like you and I into that fantasy world filled with elves and monsters and all that stuff. I was trying to say chimeras, but I said orcs, whatever.
No,
there's no
orcs in the
Witcher. in the Witcher world. I wanted to say chimeras. Anyway, all of that is also interesting on the meta level, because the way this world actually works, like in the lore, is it has real people from our world, like our physical world, in the fantasy world. This all happened in an event that is called the Conjunction of the Spheres, where two planets aligned and the people from our world were transported into the fantasy world that Geralt lives in. So it's interesting on a meta level, because the inspirations are actually kind of made manifest in the world.
Well, also these inspirations are kind of important when it comes to the kind of themes and like general topics we want to explore. So often, essentially, when we come up with quests, we often look at, let's say, the world that Geralt moves around in. So as an example, in The Witcher Wild Hunt, Geralt explores Velen, which is a part of Redania, and in this time it's war-torn. So of course we want to tell lots of stories that have to do with these topics. So we basically, when we come up with quests, we think, what themes are interesting for us to explore? What interests us, and then what interests, as an example, the audience. So for sure, as an example, if we would tell stories about a war-torn land, as an example, I as a quest designer would say, I think I have an idea. I want to make a story about, let's say, civilian suffering in this world. And then we essentially start doing our research, because we essentially always say, we're making mature games, we tell mature stories. And that doesn't mean that it has to have, gore and violence and sex. Of course, that can always be part of it. But what it actually means is that we really want to tell about topics that we think are important, that are interested to us, and that essentially make people, think when they play, and that make them feel when they play, and that are, maybe sometimes a little bit challenging. So this is often, for us, actually the first thing to start, essentially to really go. We don't just want to tell stories of, a witcher walking around the land and slaying monsters, because that's not what we want to do, that's not what Sapkowski did, but really to say, what is actually an interesting theme that, is worth exploring. And that's basically our rule for almost every single quest, where we just ask, why does that story need to be told? And if, we can answer all of these questions, then we usually have a good start for a quest.
But there's also a technical challenge to that, right? Because you just said war-torn land, right? And this puts a mental picture in my mind that kind of fills in the details, and I have this picture 100% rendered in my head. Now, the thing is, in a game where we want to immerse you, we actually have to do all that work. We as a team, not we as quest designers, but the whole studio has to work on rendering this war-torn land in painstaking detail, pretty much, because it's environment artists, it's FX artists, it's level designers.
Hard to notice with this
it's all that stuff that we need to actually physically create in the game, so that it looks like a war-torn land. So all the details that in a book you can kind of fill in with an offhand sentence, we do have to render to make it immersive, right? So there's this technical thing.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, we also have to do it in a realistic way, because we're always saying we don't want to make a stage on which our stories take place. We actually want to create a world. And essentially, if you're supposed to be immersed in these worlds, you're also supposed to feel that it's real. So I can just give one example. In The Witcher Wild Hunt, you're exploring the city of Novigrad, which, fans of the books might already know and love. And we basically had to do tons and tons of research, our concepts teams, our environment art teams, to really see that the city shouldn't just look like any medieval city, but also it needs to function. The city is a big merchant city, so it needs a really big harbor. It, as an example, has a very famous harbor crane, and it needs, proper walls around it with lots of different gates, because Novigrad is a free city in the state of Redania, so of course it needs lots of defense. And then we also, had to think about, how do these people feed themselves? Of course, they do have a harbor.
The what do they eat question.
Exactly,
right?
What do they eat? So actually,
basic question when you world build, basically.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's not just that, there's a city and now there's forests full of monsters. No, actually, it's a big medieval city. So of course, it is surrounded by, lands of fields that different weeds grow there. And then, of course, we actually had people checking what kind of weeds would they grow in different parts of the world, because, of course, the temperature matters. And all of these details. Because the thing is, we don't necessarily have to tell you, all of this thing is there, the infrastructure, so the world works. But if they are not there, you just notice that it's missing. You just feel like, I'm walking around some artificial world, but what you're supposed to feel like that you are Geralt of Rivia living in the world of The Witcher.
You take all of that subconsciously, you take it all in subconsciously, and then by just way of being there, it gives a much bigger gravitas and depth to all the stories that we tell, because they happen in your mind, real world, right, as a player.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's cool.
Nice.
All right, so we talked about what kind of things inspire us when we start to come up with stories. But now let's also maybe just quickly give people a glimpse on all the challenges we actually face in making these stories into video games.
So one challenge that might be not that obvious, but it is the first thing that comes to my mind, is the point of view that the player has in the game. Because in a game you're fixed to one point of view, which is the main character's point of view, Geralt's point of view, and you can't do cuts like you would do in a movie where you show actions and events happening in a different place, different time sometimes. You are focused on just this one character and how he sees the world. So basically you're traveling through the world with like a point of view camera almost. This is a storytelling challenge, definitely, because we have to make all the important events happen in front of the character, and this means we have to justify their presence in these events, right? We do sometimes in the games,
Man, this looks a bit
Witcher
sharper.
1, Witcher 2, Witcher 3,
This
allow you
I
to
don't
play
know.
as a different
Might be
character.
wrong.
So that will be the example of Ciri, for example, who you get to play as like an exciting change of pace from time to time, to see how the story develops from her point of view, because arguably she is the main character of The Witcher 3, right? You play as Geralt, but you can't help her, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think she's kind of all of our favorite, so we all like Ciri very much. Well, the thing is also, we talked about, that we create an open world and not just a stage, but it also kind of creates these challenges for actually making a story then, because usually if you want to tell a story, you want to go from A to B to C, and usually you want to make the choices that are, best for the flow of the story. But we, of course, say we want to make an open world so you can run everywhere. So as an example, if you're walking around with a character, player might decide to just run away. And then, our game and our stories, they still kind of need to work. So it is actually often our job to essentially make sure that whatever action the player can take, the story still works, and sometimes the story notices. Sometimes a character might, complain if you're rude to them, and I think that's always it's always nice when you can actually, as a player, I think, find these little spots. But of course, also it's kind of one challenge that we have is to not make you want to run away, to actually make you want to follow that story along. And usually, when we can tell that, while playing our quests, people just, they start looking around and they start running away. And probably something's also wrong with our quest, and we should change our approach a little.
This might actually happen when you present choices that are not intuitive for the player at the point where they are presented to you, because as quest designers we have to sort of anticipate what would be the natural reactions, not only for the player but also for Geralt, when presented with a problem, right? It really feels bad when you want to approach a certain situation from a certain in a certain way, and the game doesn't present you with that option. That's not fun. So what we need to do is we need to anticipate what the player might want to do, and then when that choice presents itself, it feels really good because you can actually do that thing that logically made sense to you, right?
And also we kind of have to give you that power to be able to make those choices. So all three of the Witcher games are RPGs, so role-playing games, and you usually play the role of Geralt of Rivia. Thing is, Geralt of course knows the rules of the world of the Witcher. He knows the culture, he knows the politics. And then it is also our job to make the player be able to know all of these things. So, we're not gonna start the game by saying, okay, you're in the kingdom of Redania, this is the king of Redania, this is, all the laws that exist. But we kind of try to do it naturally. So as an example, you might walk by some peasants that complain about, someone raised the taxes again. And these kind of, details where you really start, getting a feeling for how the world works. What is the culture? What kind of religions do people have? What do they believe in? And then, once you get all of that information, I think you're also able to, make choices. Because if you don't have any information to base your decisions on, that's not a good choice. That's just, choosing A and B, and I don't know what A and B are, or, what they could cause. So that's also a very important job that we have to make that possible.
And sometimes we use the player's character Geralt as a tool for exposition, because he does know this stuff, so he can use it. He can tell it to the player, so to speak. But this also builds into the fact of player expectations, because the Witcher universe is books, comics, series, movies. There's this famous Polish movie, and all of this stuff has built a layer of expectations that fans. Even us, right? I remember the first time we saw the Yennefer model. Like everyone gathered at Mateusz Tomaszkiewicz's computer, our quest director. Well, he was lead back then, right? And everyone gathered around his computer, and they were looking at how Yennefer looks in the game. That was the first time I saw her, and everyone had their opinions, of course. But but at the end of the day, it was really something to see, the mental image that we had of her after reading the books and watching the movies rendered on the computer screen, and then a big privilege of getting to actually use this model, right? And make quests with it and all of that stuff. So yeah.
All right, so maybe let's get a little bit to the star of our games, which is Geralt of Rivia. And of course, as you're playing The Witcher, you're playing Geralt. And there are some unique challenges when essentially making him a video game character that you as a player are controlling. Maybe let's talk a little bit about that part.
Yeah, this is actually super interesting because I noticed it first when I played The Witcher 1 as a fan. So there's this whole gamut of actions that Geralt does that are mentioned in the books. The making of potions, obviously the sword fighting, horse riding, all these things that kind of build a picture of what it means to be a Witcher in this world, right? And for this experience in the game to be immersive, we need to translate all of that into gameplay actions, into things that the player can do. Because by doing these things, by sword fighting, by mixing potions, researching monsters, talking to people, really, also, that's a big part of it. You start to feel like a Witcher, basically, because that's what you're doing for your interaction with the game, right?
Well, it's also for us, we just had to pretty much adopt his character. Because I think for many people, when they see Geralt for the first time, they think like, oh, he has a deep, raspy voice. He's probably some graph, some action hero. But the thing is, Geralt is a bit more than that. He actually has a lot of depth as a character. I really like his dry humor very much, and he has, very interesting friendships. I always love it when he discusses philosophy with his friends. My favorite Regis. It's always the best times. But also, basically, Geralt has a unique role in this world. He is a mutant. And the world of The Witcher, is a fantasy world, but also it has lots of, real life topics. There's lots of racism in this world. There's sexism. It is a fantasy world, but it's kind of
place.
Exactly. It is a place that could have existed. Mix the real medieval world with fantasy. So Geralt is an outsider. Geralt has cat eyes. He has white hair, and people do know what a Witcher is. A Witcher is there to kill monsters. But for most people, a Witcher is not that much better than a monster. They're accepted as long as they do their job. Exactly, they're a mutant.
He says that he's not human multiple times.
Yeah,
he doesn't feel like he belongs to the race, really.
Yeah, that's the thing. People, tend to spit at him when they see him in the streets, and you are essentially inhabiting this role. Geralt is not a shining hero in a shining armor. He usually often, he tries to do the right thing, but usually, a Witcher is supposed to stay neutral. But, in the end, if he's to make a choice between good and evil, he'd rather not make a choice at all. So, of course, we have to honor that character and, make you really inhabit him as a real person. All right, so we now talked for quite a while about, The Witcher and our experiences creating the stories, our memories of making the quests in The Witcher.
Light looks different in
I hope
this
it kind of
gameplay.
came across how much we love the games
Light
and
looks
our
different.
jobs making them.
And there's also one other
But
thing we
light
want to
looks
share with
different.
you. Because we've talked about our own memories, mainly from The Witcher 3 and the expansions, but there are people at the company who have been here way longer than us, since Witcher 1 times, basically. And they also have their own memories, which I invite you to see.
Może sobie do dowodu walnę, takie to jest dobre oświetlenie.
To jest moje miejsce.
Jest Borys. Okay.
Are we talking to each other? Or are we talking to one of the cameras? Or I'm ready to go.
Is everybody ready?
No, to był fajny trailer.
Yeah, I remember Badowski talking about this like it has to be a magic hour.
Współpraca z Tomkiem Bagińskim, początek naszej znajomości.
This is nice.
To trailer, który oglądałem nie myśląc jeszcze o tym, że mogę pracować w branży gier.
Tak, to jest w ogóle pierwsza rzecz, którą zrobiliśmy, z której byliśmy bardzo dumni. Ja pamiętam, że wtedy to była dla nas strasznie ważna rzecz, bo to było CG. Pierwszy CG i to było coś niezwykłego.
I was kind of proud when this came out and I thought like,
yeah,
we can do stuff.
Yeah.
Do really nice stuff. Although the hair sucked.
Ja pamiętam, że w pracy u mojej żony wszystkim paniom strasznie się podobał właśnie ten Wiedźmin i mówiły, że będzie super.
What was the name of the character that Geralt actually uses as bait? I remember absolutely loving his cartoonish way of running. His legs just seemed to spin around like.
O nie. Niesamowite.
Well,
their first
you know what it is.
Expo.
Jakie to były
Słynne
targi?
zdjęcie z internetu, też w zasadzie memowe zdjęcie jest.
I never saw this actually. I don't think I've ever seen this photo.
No, po prostu nie było nas stać na wynajęcie dużej budki, zrobienie tam standu własnego.
Nie jest tak źle. The E3 came a long way from kind of...
Oh yeah, well our presence at E3 has come a long way, but I think E3 has come a long way as well.
Byliśmy taką grupą osób, która chciała zawojować, być lepsza od tych innych produkcji, które były wtedy na rynku.
Pamiątka, jak wygląda branża gier komputerowych w Polsce, gdy powstawał pierwszy Wiedźmin. To była trochę taka wolna amerykanka, troszeczkę taki dziki zachód.
Trzeba było zbudować cały łańcuch takich hostów, którzy łapali dziennikarzy, przyprowadzali tam, odprowadzali, to oczywiście
na
było...
siłę.
No to było duże przedsięwzięcie i wszystko robiliśmy w takiej taktyce partyzanckiej.
Pamiętam, że mieliśmy plakaty, które chcieliśmy rozdawać i nikt ich nie chciał brać i wymyśliliśmy, że wbijemy się do kolejki Blizzarda i dawaliśmy ludziom stojącym w kolejce i nas goniła ochrona.
Young and beautiful. It was GDC, right? I was doing some GDC stuff, and the Płatkov called me like, hey, you know what? There is this party you have to attend in the evening. I was like, but I have stuff, and he's like, no, just get into the taxi and come in, and you'll be fine. And then I came in, and there's like a room with, like filled with 10,000 people, basically, and they give me the microphone on the stage, saying that I'm supposed to say something.
Oh.
In fact, the last time I was here, Donald gave me a gift. The video game developed here in Poland that's won fans the world over, The Witcher. I confess I'm not very good at video games, but I've been
you got the
told
game.
that it is a great example of Poland's place in the global economy.
Oglądaliśmy przed chwilą to takie krzesełko i to stanowisko, a następna rzecz, którą oglądamy, to jest prezydent Obama, który wypowiada się o Wiedźminie i to wszystko na przestrzeni dosłownie kilku lat. To w bardzo krótkim czasie zrobiliśmy jakiś taki ogromny skok do przodu. W zasadzie tylko dzięki pracy ciężkiej bardzo wielu ludzi.
Tak, wtedy sprawy jakoś przyspieszyły totalnie, to znaczy nagle okazało się, że to jest głupio o tym mówić, ale że Wiedźmin stał się jakąś rzeczą, która w ogóle łączy Polaków, to jest wszystkich dobro.
Tak, to chyba był ten taki moment, w którym zacząłem sobie coraz mocniej zdawać sprawę z tego, jak bardzo jest to ważne w skali globalnej.
Ktoś zadzwonił z kancelarii na recepcję i powiedział, że tutaj mają taką prośbę, chcieliby prezent dla prezydenta Baracka Obamy, czy mogą dostać grę w jakiejkolwiek edycji. Ludzie z recepcji pomyśleli, że to jest chyba jakiś dowcip troszkę i że ktoś tam próbuje ściemnić, więc poprosili o kontakt osobisty, żeby ktoś przyszedł.
Wystosowaliśmy list od zarządu do prezydenta Obamy. Mieliśmy ileś wersji wydrukowane na takim bardzo ładnym papierze i jak się podpisywałem, to źle się podpisałem, to musi ładniej...
Pamiętam, że ktoś biegał i prosił o podpisy I na pytanie dla kogo, to dla Obamy. I wszyscy, aha, to jasne, dawali podpis i zajmowali się swoimi rzeczami.
Wanna?
Ojej.
No, Geralt w wannie.
Jak jeździliśmy pokazywać grę, to za każdym razem na każdym komputerze było trzeba sprawdzić, czy działa, ustawić i pograć kilka minut. W związku z tym tą scenę widziałem nieprzyzwoicie dużo razy.
He has very pretty feet. His feet are too pretty for a Witcher. There should be callus. Yeah, there should be calluses there and so on and so on.
I agree with that, dude.
No, I'm serious. There should be boils and.
To jest ikoniczne.
He's smart.
To jest ikoniczne.
I would have never noticed that, dude.
Ja zasadniczo w ogóle tak się kąpię w codziennie.
Z takimi fajnymi
zabawkami.
zabawkami.
No tak, zabawki są mojego syna, ale...
Geralt ilustrował wszystkie artykuły na PC Gamerze i za każdym razem, gdy nie dali jako ilustracji tego artykułu Geralta w wannie, to wszyscy czytelnicy protestowali głośno i musieli przywracać ilustrację tak, żeby to był rzeczywiście Geralt w wannie.
But it was a lot of work. Even the sponge that floats on the surface of it, and it has like a special shader.
Na Prima Aprilis zrobiliśmy kiedyś figurkę i to był prototyp, jedna sztuka na drukarce 3D stworzona, ale musieliśmy później zrobić prawdziwego, bo zbyt dużo osób chciało koniecznie, żeby była prawdziwa, a nie tylko Prima Aprilisowym fejkiem.
Wow, mówiłem.
Oh man, I remember this.
Poznaję tego gościa.
Trochę poszła technologia na przyszłość.
To jest inwencja modelarzy, nie moja, żeby...
A podpisałeś papier, żeby mogli to zrobić?
I potem już podpisałem, jak się już zrobiliśmy bardzo profesjonalnie.
That's a long story.
I need a drink.
Widzę teraz, jak strasznie dużo tam gadali w tych dialogach. Teraz już tak nie robi się gier. No ale to oczywiście miało swój urok. Widać właśnie, tak jak powiedziałeś, nie? Jak strasznie się technologia zmieniła.
We came a long way from this. I hope.
From that. Do you know what I think? Yes, we've definitely come a long way. We've definitely come a long way from a lot of things here.
Nie tylko jeżeli chodzi o grafikę, ale też mimikę postaci, w ogóle wszystkie animacje, to w jaki sposób prezentowana jest scena.
The repeating non-met in dialogue. It was like, okay, so if you exit the conversation here and you reinitiate the conversation, he'll say this line over and over again. I'm all ears, White Wolf. I'm all ears, White Wolf.
I'm all ears, White Wolf.
We kind of knew how to use them, but kind of didn't know how to use them. So there were some really awkward ones, like, "Hey, Witcher! You know, good to see you." And you'd get that, 35 times during a conversation. It was one of the priorities to get rid of that.
Wiedźmin 1, Wiedźmin 2, Wiedźmin 3. Widać, jak się starzał razem z nami.
No, 3 Geraltów zmieniających się. To jest w ogóle, to jest wielowymiarowe.
Completely a raw badass.
Cała stylistyka tego, to jest w jedynce mieliśmy estetyczne białe tło, w trójce podobnie, a w dwójce totalny Hollywood, eksplozje, wszystko w ogniu, a ty idziesz w slow motion, oddalając się od płomieni.
To scena z Desperado, jak z Banderasa. No, ale to smaczy ogień, to trochę usprawiedliwia.
Troszeczkę. I nie ma gitary.
Oczywiście to też jest cała generacja technologiczna. Pierwszy Wiedźmin składający się z, 15 000 trójkątów, a kolejne to już jakieś w ogóle setki.
Nawet mi nie mów o trójkątach w Wiedźminie pierwszym, drugim czy trzecim, no to wiesz, to jest chodząca lokacja.
With The Witcher 2, we actually gave body to the continent,
we started to explore.
We started sailing. We started exploring the universe.
Przy dwójce to chyba ta okładka trochę tak powstawała. Ja pamiętam, że mieliśmy masę różnych wersji okładek wszystkich gier ze świata i bardzo chcieliśmy się inspirować najlepszymi. Przy okładce do trójki to już było trochę tak, co nam się najbardziej podoba i co uważamy, że najbardziej pasuje.
No i potem już taki super dojrzały Facio z Wiedźmina III.
Najlepszy.
No, jest zdecydowanie najbardziej taki data.
Been through hell and high water, you and me.
Fact is, you know me better than anyone else does.
To ja się przy tym nie wiem dlaczego wzruszam i mam ciarki.
Witcher 1 has the most mutant face. If we're gonna talk about
No to jest
face.
ciar faktor.
Witcher 1 has the most mutant.
So,
Without
it
potions
might be
though.
my birthday, but I say, here's to you.
Jak o nim myślę, to sobie przypominam, no tak, on jest takim w sumie podsumowaniem, że to się skończyło i nie, to on nie istnieje.
No, to jest świetne zakończenie trzeciej części Wiedźmina w Toussaint. To jest taka kropka nad i.
Właśnie zakończone jeszcze w takim miejscu, które bardzo przyjemnie się kojarzy. Wakacyjnie, urlopowo.
I just need to say something that
Yeah, it's
we
coming on
went a
PC.
hell lot of work to actually upress all our textures, and we have much better textures nowadays. So I'm so proud.
So this is shit.
Yes.
Pokazaliśmy go na PAX-ie w Seattle, na panelu urodzinowym i pamiętam, że tam odważyliśmy się wynająć taką wielką salę, taki amfiteatr na 2300 miejsc. Miałem mega stres, że nie wypełnimy sali, ale potem się okazało, że było na full i mega wrażenie było.
No, ciar faktor.
No, łezka wokół się kręci.
Czy to koniec?
Geralt started talking to gamers directly. You know, we broke the fourth wall, and you know, there was a little bit of winking, a little bit of smile. That sort of freed us up a little bit, you know. And I think there's still lots more to do with this franchise.
Definitely.
You know.
And especially with the better textures.
Especially with the better textures.
All right. What's this?
Ready?
3-4. Nie ma drugiego człowieka, na którego bym tak często wpadał leżącego na ziemi w jakiejś salce, jak Marcin. Myślałem wiele razy, że salka jest pusta, po czym się okazywało, że Marcin leży na ziemi i z kimś rozmawia. I myślałem na początku, że to jest jedyna pozycja, w której spotykasz się z ludźmi.
He is the really grumpy, but sometimes interesting folk that I know here, and I would like to thank him for this years of cooperation.
Pamiętam, jak pojechaliśmy do Kolonii na targi, no i wszyscy się przygotowywali. Między innymi były takie dodatkowe atrakcje na zewnątrz i była taka atrakcja, która polegała na tym, że wchodziło się do wielkiej kuli przezroczystej i na takim ograniczonym boisku można było się poturlać. I ty wskoczyłeś do tej kuli i tak ją rozbujałeś, że wyskoczyłeś poza to boisko i gdzieś tam się daleko poturlałeś. I to jest w ogóle taki symbol tego, że obojętnie jakich momentach kryzysowych ty jesteś niezłomny, pełen energii i to w ogóle się nie zmieniło.
Nie będę opowiadał żadnych kompromitujących rzeczy, ani niczego sensacyjnego, tylko opowiem, że za każdym razem właśnie jak się zbliżała premiera gry, gra jeździła na targi, jak właśnie produkowane były te wszystkie trailery i zawsze łapałem się za głowę, o Boże, nie? Ile tam jest spoilerów, a to jest w ogóle takie nieortodoksyjne, nie? To uspokajałeś, nie, tak się robi, to jest wszystko dobrze, wszystko właśnie na dobre wyszło i że miałeś rację.
Ty, Adam, a może byśmy zrobili tutaj, nie wiem, wielkiego niedźwiedzia, który wychodzi na początek, potem robi mu ujęcie na coś tam i tak tworzyliśmy pewien scenariusz, żeby wizualnie było jeszcze fajniej, żeby było jeszcze bardziej atrakcyjnie i chyba to dla mnie jest najważniejsze w pracy z tobą.
I don't know a more precise individual in my life. You're thin and you're lanky and physically you remind me of a scalpel. You're Krzysztof the Scalpel Christian to me.
Drugą rzecz jeszcze powiem, pamiętam, że kiedyś na korytarzu żeście sobie siedzieli i
kombinowali
i przechodząc wam tak zazdrościłem strasznie. Tam były jakieś wykresy,
Take a break,
smok, kreska, coś, tutaj elfy, atak. Tak mówię, wow, ale super, mają taką wielką sesję roleplaying, która trwa przez pół ich życia.
Pamiętasz, jak skończyliśmy Wiedźmina pierwszego i zrobiliśmy imprezę taką małą i w pewnym momencie ktoś z nas wpadł na pomysł, nie wiem czy to nie ty czasami, żeby te wielkie tablice korkowe, na których błędy przechodziły z jednej kolumny do drugiej, a już były niepotrzebne, gra była zamknięta, żeby je rozwalić, żeby już mieć żeby zrobić jakąś kropkę nad niej, żeby zniszczyć te wszystkie taski, wszystkie problemy, które były i pamiętam, że zrobiliśmy to. Byliśmy bardzo niegrzeczni.
You look like a scalpel, dude.
If you've been with us from the start, then you're no stranger to their music. Our house band is back. The amazing Marcin Pibivovic and Percival, take it away.
Nice. Let's go. Man, this show is long. This show is long. Good. This is good. Nice, dude. Nice, dude. Oh man, this was nice.
Thanks again, Marcin Pibivovic and Percival, for setting us up right. For this panel, we've lost the deck of destiny because, well, basically from this point on, only pure knowledge can save you. The name of the game is Geralt of, wait for it, Trivia. Such a good day
God.
you came up with that. And the goal
Watch me
is to
not
determine
know anything.
which of my next panelists truly deserve the title of Lore Master. So let's give it up for showrunner, executive producer, and all-round Witcher whiz, Lauren Schmidt-Hisrich. Feel like Oprah. Like,
I want that introduction everywhere. That's amazing.
Man, she has a nice
fire.
step.
I'll just follow
That's
you
good ink
around,
in the
shouting your
hand.
name loudly with an arm gesture.
Love it. I'm
Excellent.
so ready for this game.
Excellent. She's joined by the man who follows in her footsteps, writer on The Witcher and showrunner for The Witcher Blood Origin. It's Declan de Barra!
Yeah. Maybe they show something.
And are you all right, Declan? You okay?
I'm good. I'm just teed up and ready to destroy my former friend who is now my mortal enemy.
Oh,
wow.
I see how we're playing this game.
Yes,
It's gonna get
dirty,
a little,
dirty.
Get a little dirty, huh?
Absolutely.
Can't wait.
Okay. And joining us from Poland are two men with as much Witcher knowledge as one can pretty much get. CD Projekt Red lead quest designers Błażej Augustnik and Philippe Weber.
Hello.
Hi, Błażej,
Hello,
how are you
hi.
doing?
Let's see who
I'm
wins,
doing fine,
boys.
thanks.
Yeah,
Let's
you're
see who
good, you're
wins.
happy, you're excited?
Yeah, I am, sure. I want to see what we are going to do here.
And Philippe, how confident do you feel?
Oh, I mean, I'm not sure. I have to admit, I'm very excited, but we're gonna fight. That's sure.
All right, well, fair enough. I think it's one of these sort of like weird things where you're like, no one's really competitive, but then suddenly everyone's very...
Yeah.
Look at you leaning
Yeah.
in your seat, all aggressively ready, Declan. Anyway, let me explain basically the game mechanics of like how this is going to work. So you're divided into teams. So Lauren and Błażej, you're the blue team, right? And Declan and Philippe, you are the red team, okay?
Ooh,
so in a
man.
minute, I'll start with the questions, and there's basically going to be 9 in total, which is 4 for each, and then 1 deciding final question for all of you. And each question earns your team 1 point. But answer incorrectly, and the opposing team has the opportunity to potentially steal your point.
All right, this
is
is
feel
fun.
free to obviously deliberate with your counterparts, your other team members, but obviously the opposing team is listening, so don't give too much away, or you might lose a point. And, you know, you viewers at home, do you think that you can outdo the pros at all of these Witcher lore questions? But do share your answers with us by tweeting using the hashtag WitcherCon. Right, hopefully that's all clear.
It is.
Medium.
Lauren, that you do know that we've replaced, there's panels underneath you. If you get a wrong answer, you go into the fiery depths. No pressure.
No pressure at all.
I mean,
I'm confident. I think Bajay and I.
Wait, was that? It's actually fire and spikes.
Fire and spikes. Just when you think fire can't get any worse, there's
Man, my
spikes
money is
into
on
the
Philip.
mix. Well,
But
it's me and your
man,
weird little mind
everyone here
works, Declan,
knows.
but we like it. That's all good. Okay, so first question is for the blue team. So let's see how well you really know dear old Geralt. So for a man of surprisingly few words, he's actually got a huge amount of monikers. Can you name all 6 of them?
What?
6. There's 6.
There is 6
I
of
have
them.
them on this card here, just in case.
Does The Witcher count?
What's a
No.
moniker, guys?
I mean, no.
Okay, let's go
No,
with
the
the
other
easy
6.
ones then. Let's get
Okay.
the easy ones out of the way, right? So there's the White Wolf,
A nickname.
which in Elven or Elvish is Gwynblade. In
Yeah.
English, that will be pronounced how? Gwynblade?
Gwynbleth.
Gwynblade.
He's Welsh, I
Yeah.
think.
Yes.
That's 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we
Butcher.
got 2.
Butcher of Blaviken.
Blaviken?
Of course.
It's one of the more popular ones. Classic.
The classic B.O.B.
Isn't there another
there's
Butcher
the-
one? There's another
Yeah.
one with Butcher.
The Butcher of White Orchard.
Yes. Okay, you got
Okay.
4.
Yes.
Okay.
Couple more
And
to
there's
go.
another one I wanted to say about. There's
When
the
did
one
this
we used
one
in the
happen?
game also. It's a throwaway line in the books. It's Ravix of Forhorn.
Forhorn, yes.
Wow.
Staroroga in Polish.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Sounds kind of
yeah,
dirty.
yeah.
Sounds kind of dirty.
It does. Have you ever? No.
No, it's
Okay,
just
so-
Polish.
So we.
Why is
Does
everyone
alcohol
recording on
sound
this?
dirty?
What's going
We've
on,
got
guys?
one more.
Okay,
Can
one
you
more,
get
one
it?
more.
It's a really. If you're
Um,
really going to kick yourself, it's
okay.
a quite straightforward one.
I don't know, the last
white
one.
one? Just
The white one. The white one.
Let's see if they've got
that
it
was it?
right, and they have. Yes.
The
All
white
6
one?
right. So the point
Alright.
goes to you, Lauren.
Nice.
Kicking
See?
off. That was a tough.
That's like a multi. I think we get more points for that because that's a lot
I'm
of answers.
registering a protest because you missed his 2 most crucial names, which is Stan the Hat.
Oh.
Where Stan the Hat is his side gig where he sells illicit kittens in Blaviken.
Man, it's so
And
warm,
Bob.
dude.
Bob is
Bob.
a nice name for a Bob. That's a nice name for a Witcher. Bob.
Bob the Witcher.
And any Blackadder
Yeah,
fans.
there's one Geralt came up with.
And you know why he said it like that?
It was really long.
Because he used to have a stutter, so it was
Bob.
Yeah.
Then
Oh, we also
Vesemir told
forgot
him,
a
like,
really
man,
important one, because when Geralt was a young guy, Vesemir asked him to.
What's with the
what's
quality,
your
dude?
proper Witcher name? And I think he wanted to be Roger Eric Duot Bellegarde.
Yeah.
And Vesemir told him he's an idiot.
Yeah.
So I think
This
that's
one.
always my favorite one.
He was a little kid then.
Very
we also,
long
we
name.
also could say that it's Sir Geralt because he did get knighted at some point, right?
Right.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of.
Geralt.
Yeah.
As you
You
said.
have Nev stepping in.
Like, how long can we keep going?
No,
right
no,
now?
it's, the point's already gone. I think that's basically it. But it was
Oh,
fun
okay,
to hear all
okay,
these other
okay, so
names.
it's
That was pretty good. So, red team. So now we're
The
on the
white
topic of
one,
Geralt.
I don't
Which
think I ever
creature
heard that, dude.
Or being gave Geralt the scar across his left eye.
It was a cockatrice?
Was it from winking too much?
Was it cockatrice?
Ladies.
Yeah, those are excellent questions.
Was it a
I think it has
cockatrice?
something to do with a bird-sounding name.
I think it was a
Okay.
cockatrice.
Gonna need to be a little bit more
so-
specific
Maybe.
than that.
Cockatrice of something.
A little bit more
Boom.
specific than
Spala.
that.
Spala.
Cockatrice of Spala.
Ah, yes,
That
they've
might
got
be
it
it.
right. Ding, 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 ding. Point to the red team. Or
Boom.
even Steven.
This
How
was
many times
easy.
is that said in the
Thank you very
game?
much.
How many times? Is it said a lot?
I'll be completely honest. I think it's just kind of a throwaway line. It's Geralt mentions it, I could not recall if there's a big story behind it. That seems like something maybe we should.
It was a cockatrice, not
Is
Ada.
this some sort of worrying wibbly law we need to like hammer out here? Not okay with that.
Although Ada almost
I'm very
killed him.
disappointed that that has been used because it's the best character name ever. Because could you imagine like Witcher season 7? And it's like, good evening, I am the cockatrice of Spala. I've come to kill you.
I would fully watch that.
I don't think it talks.
Fully watch that.
You don't think it talks?
All right, okay, next question for the blue team. All right, so from ghoul bites to other things that have kind of strange effects on the mind and body, who or what is Rydwaith Carthian? Is it 1, a monster that controls minds? Is it 2, an exotic plant?
Oh, I
Is
have
it
no
3,
clue, man.
heartache in Harmlinga? Or is it 4,
Carthian.
an influential mage?
It sounds made up.
Most lore does, I'm not going to lie.
I think I know this one.
That's true. That's true.
But I'm afraid
go
of saying
ahead.
it. Okay, we're gonna try it.
Just do it. Just
Plant?
Do
I
it. Just
think
do
it's an exotic plant.
Are they right? Is it an exotic plant? Yes, you are correct.
Nice.
Easy, dude.
Point to
I didn't
the
even have to
blue
phone a
team.
friend.
I didn't. I'm just pretend I did.
Okay, right, red team, are you ready? Oh wow, very ready, aggressively so. Right,
Well,
okay, so
some
it's
fist
not
tag
just
before the
plants that you
show.
should be wary of in The Witcher. The universe is full of dangerous creatures too, and each one more horrendous than the last. Which far from friendly foes silhouette do we see here? Is it number 1, a gold dragon? Number 2, a basilisk? Number 3, a griffin?
Oh,
or number
man.
4, a green dragon?
It's either a
Let's see it.
basilisk or a griffin,
First of all, I
but
did
I think
not
it's a
approve this picture
basilisk.
of me at all. It's,
Or a...
It's like a weird Rorschach test, right?
I think it's a basilisk.
It's like a griffin had copulation effects with a basilisk and had a baby and fed it fire. I
It
don't
looks
know.
like me coming home from a night out.
I think because the way it's hunched over, what would you think, a basilisk or a griffin? No, it's not a griffin.
That's a basilisk.
I mean, maybe it's a bit
Maybe.
cheating because I do
Could be a
recognize
dragon,
it
though.
from the game. So I, but it's made for me.
It's
so
not
I know.
cheating. That's the point of you being here.
What are you going with? Final
How long
answer.
were you gonna let us go back and forth?
Yeah,
Okay.
it should be a basilisk, but it could also be a cockatrice, maybe of Spala, but I will go with basilisk.
Wait,
because there's
cockatrice?
No cockatrice.
Philip.
Or it could be
That's
me.
not one of the answers.
Hold on.
Okay.
If I was like this.
Yeah.
It's
there we go.
kind of
It's
you.
very similar.
Like if you spilt some wine
This
on the
guy's
floor or something.
passionate.
Yeah, very similar. Okay, let's find out if they've got the correct answer. Yes, it is number 2, a basilisk. Well done. Point.
Okay.
This is getting...
It was tough
Okay,
though.
I'm
It
into
looked
this.
like a
This is fun.
griffin a
Right,
little
question
bit.
for the blue team now. Now, we already know that Henry Cavill was a huge fan of the books and the games, but it seems
Oh,
that he
yeah.
wasn't
That's
alone.
good, though.
I mean, apparently, Lauren Declan, your colleague, Tomasz Baginski, wanted to get the show made so badly that he went kind of all in on a very extreme gesture. But what gesture was that? Number 1, he wrote a passionate 25-page letter telling Sapkowski why the show needed to be made. Was it number 2 that he showed up at Sapkowski's office to serenade him for a full hour? Sort of hope that's true. Number 3, he made a pilot episode in which he portrayed both Geralt, Yennefer, and Ciri. Actually, no, scratch that. I want that one to be the one. Or number 4, he lobbied to make The Witcher part of Polish cultural heritage and thus secure a special grant neted to kickstart production.
Man,
So
it's
many
money
guesses.
related.
Endings.
Of course, it's gonna be the
I'm a
last
big fan
one.
of the second one.
I have heard Tomek
and I
sing.
would like to live in a
Yeah.
world where this is true, but I don't think it's true.
He's
So,
also a
you know?
lead
I
quest
actually,
designer.
I do. I
the
know
other
this
dude.
one.
Yeah.
Although I'm still a little bit surprised by the detail that I didn't know, which is I knew that he wrote Sapkowski a letter.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to make fun of him because who writes a 25-page letter?
I mean, first of all, who writes a letter
Someone who
anyway?
wants
but
to
like,
make
I
a
mean, I
show?
presume was it handwritten?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
There's no way that was like, it's
No.
got to be cursive with like
Yes.
a quill or something.
I really.
25 pages. Did you read
Do
it?
you think you read it all?
I do think he read it. I mean, it's Sapkowski. I think absolutely he read it.
Yeah,
and then he
okay.
probably ripped it up and threw it away.
That's
Yeah,
a shame. I really
that's
wish
true.
that this existed so
on
that
the
we
other
could
hand,
read it.
how
I want to
often
know
do
what
you
anyone
get-
can say for 25 pages. It's pretty impressive.
Fun
But
would be
should
too
we check
easy,
that the
man.
answer's right?
Fun would
Unsurprisingly,
be-
it is correct.
Can you get it somewhere? Can you read it?
That'd be awesome. We got to get a copy.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet we can ask for it.
Oh
think
man,
this needs to happen.
25
But I
page
also
letter.
think we should have him serenade Sapkowski at some point,
Absolutely.
just for the sake of our glee.
That did happen. He told me this on
No.
a drunken night out. Because he got turned down on the 25-page letter. Because he camped outside that door in the cold and the wet for 10 long nights. And eventually it started raining down soggy letters, pieces of letter, and it's like, go away from my window. So he starts to sing, fails, he leaves, he comes back 1 month later with the real thing that changed the whole deal, which was
money.
25 Bavarian mimic owls, which he set upon Sapkowski to fly through his window, and every time he would try and go to sleep, he would go, "We need to do this. This must happen. Read the letter. Give in to Tomek." And it worked.
Now you guys see why the writer's room of The Witcher is so much fun.
This is mad.
Yeah, madness. I love it.
But it worked for him, so it was
It
great.
did. It's great.
It's
But
good.
We have to get this letter.
Lovely.
Imagine
I mean,
serenading
moving
in
on.
front of
Red
Sapkowski,
team.
man.
Okay, so as you all know well, lots of things get lost on the cutting room floor, and some probably is better for the better. Which cut did CDPR regret, though, in retrospect? Was it number 1, a sequence where Ciri fights monsters whilst ice skating? Is it number
It's
2,
ice
the
skating.
ability to swap horses? That's just mean. Poor Roach. What would the game be without?
Nah.
3, making the game a multiplayer. Or 4, making Geralt an elven mage.
Ice skating makes sense here.
I remember this one. You got the easy one.
It's a cheating question again. Of course I know that.
You know that one?
You know it.
But
Yeah, we all know it.
I'll give you a try because I always get the video game questions.
Yeah, maybe because I don't know the answer, I'm going to have to guess here. It's either going to be swapping horses or ice skating with monsters. I mean, ice skating with monsters, I hope that was the thing, because imagine at the end of it, like, she does a pirouette, chops the head off a ghoul, and then there's like people at the end holding up scores, 10.9.
Why did they
technical
cut
merit,
this, though? This would
gore
be
factor
fun.
9.
I love that. I would
Ice
watch more ice
skating with
skating shows if
Geralt.
there was more
Right?
bloodshed. Let's be
That's
honest.
the only thing that's missing.
Right.
This needs to happen in the Olympics. Monster ice
But,
skating.
I mean, Ciri has some great scenes ice skating and, hurting people. So,
It has to be that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me.
Philip, is that right, Philip?
I would say, yeah, it's right. It's one that hurts the most. There's, of course, always many cuts that hurt us a lot. One colleague of mine had a bad
Man.
cut that was called troll poop. He's still very sad about that one, but the ice skating is definitely one of the hardest ones.
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
ice skating. Perfect.
Let's see
This
if
would
they're
be
right.
cool, man.
And you're right.
Thank you, Lauren.
Wow, yeah, you accidentally. You got too involved in being right there.
I did.
No. Oh, okay, all right, it's all right. Still all to play for, don't worry. So, right, Lauren, okay, blue team. Now, when you think of The Witcher, I mean, it's really hard to not think of monsters. And, Geralt may not actually face that many monsters in the books, but he does see his fair share within the series, of the games and the show. My question is, which monster isn't mentioned in the books and games? So, is it number 1, the Doppler? Number 2, Alp? Is it number 3, Sylvan? Or 4, Selkimor?
Okay,
Oh,
so
man.
the Alp is a vampire, and it's definitely mentioned. The
Yeah.
Sylvan is mentioned as well, and Doppler has its own story, and
Yep.
there's like a character.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
Selkimor.
Selkimor anywhere, so that would be my bet.
I think so as well.
I'm going to
you
firmly
agree?
agree on that one. Yes.
Okay,
Alright,
are
we
they
got it.
right? Yes, they are.
they
You
are.
guys, this is obviously you're going to know all the answers. I would be mad if you didn't, right? Okay, so there's a bit of a reason why I didn't ask you that question, Declan, because I believe that actually this we're about to see here is your handiwork.
Indeed, that is it. And there was another picture of
Yeah.
it actually swallowed up poor Geralt,
Yeah,
and then Geralt cut his way from the inside out,
yeah,
killing the Selkimor,
yeah.
and then he flees past Jaskier, who's going, what's going on? And then thousands of baby Selkimors come out chasing him while Geralt's covered in slime.
Yeah.
But obviously, we had to change for the script, and I had finished the writer's room, and you called me while I was on holiday in Spain, going, I need some dialogue for a pub patron who's describing this scene. And I was on a train, and I might have had a few riacas, and I like to act out the dialogue. So there was a packed train, and I was going, covered him all, it did. Swallowed him. Giant obsidian teeth of death. And everybody on the train was
Loving it.
Loving it. Well, not loving it, calling the police.
Did you get your own seat though? Everyone's
I
like,
did.
I'm just gonna like
Everyone
slowly
left me
move away from
So I was texting it to Lauren, and it made the cut.
It's good he has
So I'm delighted.
imagination. He's a writer.
What didn't make the cut is the
That's
actual
kind of needed.
flaw.
Yeah. Oh well. Next time. But we got the Kralak in, so I was really happy. Which is the Rochan.
I have to say that is a really great scene. Like his whole speech there, where you're like, it's brilliant.
It's one of those things that where it works out better not actually showing it.
Yes.
It was really cool. And that was Lauren's smart idea.
Save a bit of money on special effects there. Just
totally.
Right, we've got another question for the red team here, and it's another one about names. So, who is the Viscount de Lettenhove? Is it number 1, the Ike
It's
of Denzelin? Is it number 2,
Jaskier.
Jaskier or Dandelion? Or is it 3, the Detlef van Echretijn? Man, I'm having a day. 4, Gonta Odim.
Now this is Jaskier, I believe.
We would all be burned at the stake, quite rightfully so, if we didn't know this.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Am I gonna be burned on the stake,
The
dude?
fans would drag us out and bury us alive.
Okay.
It is Jaskier and Dandelion. Of course, it's very important to him.
Let's see if you're right. Yes, you're right. Well
I think
done.
Team Blue is gonna win because it's scripted that way.
Not so much. Jaskier, Dandelion, Julian, Alfred, Pancratz. I mean, call him what you want and say what you will, but I do think we can all agree that the Bard always looks like $1 million. And he isn't the only one. Philip, I hear you guys are making sure that the Witcher 3 is looking equally suave and sleek on all next-gen hardware?
Okay.
Oh, do I get to announce that? All right. Yeah, so if I can say, yes, we are working on a next-gen update for the next-gen consoles to make the Witcher Wild Hunt look extra smooth and extra great again.
Ooh,
of course, for
man,
people
look
who
at
already
this.
own the game, and of course also on PC,
damn.
you'll be able to upgrade for free. So I'm also really happy to say that for this upgrade, we
New art, new
collaborated with
look.
Netflix for some free DLC to add to the game. So as an example, you might be able to wear Geralt's armor, you know, inspired by the Netflix series. And we'll have more info about that in the future.
Is it me or does Geralt look a little bit moodier? A little bit moodier
It's looking
in that
different,
one.
boys.
I'm very excited.
It's looking
It's an excuse to play it all over again.
It's looking a bit different, I'm not gonna lie. This looks,
That will always
That would do it.
this looks
I mean,
darker.
yeah, you're going to have a bit of a frown.
Absolutely.
So, seeing as we've got at least one illustrator here in the studio, I thought it'd be kind of fun to play a round of Pictionary. So yeah, the pencils are coming out and basically all bets are off, guys. So
I don't think we're
Lauren
gonna
and
see a
Declan,
trailer.
I'll be giving each of you a card with the word or phrase on it, and it's going to be the same word or phrase. Now, it's your job to draw it to the best of your abilities within 60 seconds. Now, while you're drawing, your partners on the line are basically going to start guessing, and the first to guess right wins.
Okay.
Sounds pretty clear. Okay, so
We
both
got
teams, please turn over your
It
cards.
is coming out for PC,
Take it
like-
all in.
They're just mentioning next gen,
Okay.
but it's
The
also
timer
PC.
starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we've got 60 seconds on the clock. And remember, guys in Poland, Boże and Philip, let us know as soon as you know.
Okay, I'm going to draw my finger because
Yeah?
it's not working.
I think I think I'm seeing a
Like,
ghost.
art looks very
I'm-
different, dude.
Skullface.
I'm
In
seeing
that
a
Witcher 3, it looks
moonwraith.
way different than I
might
imagined,
be
man.
seeing
Has a big fin
a
on the
knight.
back. It's like a... No, it's an arm. Sorry, it's an arm.
The other one is cool. I see a cow with teeth.
That's 30 seconds gone. It's totally a
Okay,
monster.
like so far, it has like it has 4 limbs, but it looks like very spidery.
Come on, guys, have you got any idea what it is? Shout out if you know.
No, it's a ghoul. It's a ghoul, right? It's like it's very spindly, the face.
Oh, you got it.
Stop, 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 stop. Yes, you are right.
But it
It's a
looks good.
ghoul.
It has to be. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
look
just
at that.
lifelike. That's uncanny. My drawing to that.
Yeah, that was a pretty good. Yeah.
So with the final point going to the red team,
You're
that
not
tallies
playing
up to a
Netflix.
final outcome of 4 points to the blue team and 5 points to the red team. Declan.
It's just gonna have a DLC, I think, with the armor.
Only thing
Oh,
is,
Team Red
I
won.
think
Okay.
it's on me
I
having
was wrong.
said I'd play dirty, to play honest, because
I thought it was gonna be.
we wouldn't have
different.
got that point without your team's assist. So I think,
Aw.
in fairness, it is the blue team who wins.
Oh, wow.
Exactly, yeah. So I think we should present a little, just a tiny little token of a prize. Just a
What?
wee little thing you can put in your pocket.
What is happening?
It's
There was a prize. No one told me there was a prize. I would have actually got. Actually, no, I wouldn't have been able to answer
Great
the questions.
prize.
I don't know why.
I'm just curious what the prize is.
You what?
Oh.
Man, I would like that.
Okay.
Put it
You
here.
got that
Are you
for
going
us?
to ship this?
This is living in right beside Lauren's pool. Blue team, I present to you Sir Gwyneth of Gryffindor.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you did this for us.
That's okay
It's
because
so
I get a
amazing.
consolation prize.
What?
What are you doing?
Oh,
hell yeah,
how do you
take that,
feel the Bourget? Oh wait, well you can't just keep. Well,
I
this
mean,
is
I
taking a
hope you
turn.
ship this to
taking-
Poland, right?
I'm
So I
taking
can,
this
I
back
can
on the
put
subway
it in
with
front
me.
of my house.
We're gonna share custody of this, I think. We can just take turns,
you're
6
gonna-
months
Yeah,
at a time.
yeah, exactly. I get half a year, you get half a year, and
Perfect.
Exactly.
I mean, you have a pool. You have a pool,
I have a
right?
pool. I was gonna
so
say-
it floats, right? Is it polystyrene?
Sure it does.
So you know, put the kids on that. They'll love it.
Of course it's polystyrene. Man,
what
now
do you
the
have
halberd
over
looks
there?
good.
Oh yeah, Philippe. Do you,
I think I have a nice little halberd.
Okay.
It's good for shaving.
Oh, so that's our
I mean,
prize.
how do you guys in
I
Poland
like it.
feel about that? I mean, Philippe, like, are you sad that he just gave away your giant skull prize?
I mean, I'll be honest. Like a halberd like that is much more useful in the day-to-day business. So I'm happy with that.
They both work for home defense. You walk in the door, you see the halberd, you turn around, you leave. But you walk in and you see a giant griffin ahead, and you say, "Who the hell slayed that?" And I'm not messing with him.
No, they're just gonna say, how can I steal that and put it in the back of my trunk.
much rather have the skull.
Yes, agreed. I think the prizes laid out exactly as they should have.
Okay, so we'll
Yes.
swap weekends and weeks, all right? We'll just post it back and forth.
Every third Wednesday or
Sounds
whatever.
perfect.
Okay. Well, look, Blue Team, it's my supreme pleasure to, very unofficially pronounce you WitcherCon 2021 Lore Masters. So, I mean, do you want to share like a few words of victory with your fans or any potential,
the Blue
future
Team win.
usurpers to your crown?
No words of victory. It's just been so exciting to be here and doing
Told you.
this today, and I've loved working with the team from CDPR on
Scripted
this
that
too.
way.
It's been great to partner up and actually, maybe someday we can end up in the same place at the same time. That would be exciting too.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Exactly. All four of us, the skull and the halberd.
Right.
That sounds like a party I want to go to. I'm not gonna lie.
Some little barbarian mimic owls.
Yes, it's a date. WitcherCon
What'd you miss?
2022
Nothing.
maybe.
Absolutely.
Do it.
Yeah, that sounds
with
good.
lots and lots of fans.
Yep.
Definitely. So I do actually have one final question for you guys, for our Lore Masters here, and there's no points to be earned. Your win is safe here, but you could unlock a secret reveal for the audience if you get this one right. Okay. So we talked a little bit before about Geralt's ghoul bite earlier, and after that incident, Geralt is taken to safety by Yerga, but the White Wolf isn't really having it. He asks Yerga to take him to the Blue Mountains, saying, "He'll save me." Who is Geralt talking about here?
Vesemir.
Come on.
It's got to be Daddy Pants, right?
I mean, I wrote the line, so it's kind of unfair for me to answer
Okay,
it.
good.
I mean, if Geralt has like one guy who he's always looking out for, it's usually Uncle Vesemir.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
it's Vesemir.
You are absolutely right. The answer is Vesemir. So well done, well done. But also, I have to say, Lauren, I did hear kind of like some sort of mutterings backstage that this sort of might be the year of Vesemir. So can you explain to me why? To be fair, I shouldn't really have been eavesdropping, but why is it the year of Vesemir?
I was going to say, we cannot keep anything secret, can we?
No.
So, I've spoken a lot about Vesemir. I'm really excited to introduce him in season 2. And to finally meet this man who basically created Geralt, who shaped Geralt into the Witcher that we know and love. But it's a little bit more than that, actually, because even
I need
before
WhatsApp, dude.
Witcher 2 is launched, we are launching our first anime feature, Nightmare of the Wolf. And we
Yeah,
are so excited for audiences to see this.
Wow, that looks incredible.
That is pretty exciting.
That is very
August
exciting. Oh my
23rd.
goodness! Wow.
And if you notice, there's a date on this, so you're not going to have to wait very
In
long.
1 month.
That's really soon.
This is nice.
It's that kind of time. I'm really sorry to say,
Alright.
but it is basically the end of panel 2. So I'd like to thank Bourget and Philippe for joining us from Poland,
Philippe.
and of course to Declan and Lauren,
Philippe.
and you guys at home. I mean, did you beat the pros? Did you get more questions right than they did? I don't know. Well, we'll find out soon enough. But I do hope that you stay tuned, because if you've enjoyed what's been revealed so far, you do not want to miss the next reveal that's coming right up.
Oh, damn. We have a trailer, boys. Let's go, boys and girls. Let's go. Animation looks nice, dude. I was afraid it was gonna be 3D. This is good. Alright, alright. Well, time to get Netflix subscription again.
Trust me, there's no such thing as too much behind-the-scenes content, so I feel like we should keep the good times rolling. So, what have you got up your sleeves for us, Lauren?
Well, I am so excited to take you to a place that I think all fans are dying to see. It's a key spot at the core of the Witcher universe. Join me on a tour of Kaer Morhen that touches upon the Keep's lore and visual style across 3D and 2D and live-action formats, from the games, the series, and the anime film. Come on inside.
Is anime in Japanese or is it gonna be English?
Creating Kaer Morhen for Season 2 has been quite the adventure. We have worked so hard to bring this ancient keep to life, the place where Witchers return each winter to rest and restore. I'm excited to welcome you all, legacy fans and new audiences alike, home to Kaer Morhen. Over 1,000 years old, this building has seen more than its fair share of danger. Each column and stone tells the story of how Witchers endured amid the dark history of an evolving continent. The Kaer Morhen seen in the video game is in the prologue of the first Witcher game, where players must defend the stronghold from the attack of Azar Javid and the Magister. In Witcher 3, the dreaded Wild Hunt attacks and lays siege to Kaer Morhen in an attempt to kidnap Ciri. Players are also able to explore the keep's surrounding regions and dig deeper into Witcher history. In the last few years, the Witcher universe has expanded rapidly, and with it, our understanding of Kaer Morhen. The upcoming anime film Nightmare of the Wolf will provide our first piece of connective tissue between the past and the present.
Nice.
In the anime, we'll witness the pivotal sacking of Kaer Morhen, when fearful, fanatical humans attacked the keep. And then in Season 2, we see the resulting dilapidation of this siege. At the very heart of Kaer Morhen is the Great Hall, built in stunning detail for Season 2. We see that the keep's tables are empty, its giant fire pit casting more shadows than light. At the center of the Great Hall stands the Medallion Tree, a mysterious and looming memorial where the medallions of fallen Witchers have been hung for hundreds of years, a reminder of the brotherhood that bonds them, even in death. We also glimpse the Witcher Armory, full of weapons and elixirs to help the Witchers defend the continent and themselves against future attacks.
This looks good though.
And those who know, know. And finally, we explore the basement lab, a pivotal place of experiment and research. The lab is also where young Witchers are created, if they're lucky enough to survive the trial of the Grasses. It's been an exciting journey, crafting a new piece of this Witcher world, from the page to the screen. We hope you love it as much as we do.
Alright.
Mimi, what's it been like to be back, you know, amongst kind of all the cast? When was the last time you saw them?
Some of them I haven't seen since early last year. So it's been really beautiful to like blow kisses at them in the distance and air five.
Oh, I fully get the vibe that you guys are really, really tight.
Yeah, we're a family. We get really territorial over each other. It's beautiful.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Now, I know I've said it before and I will say it again, but the Witcher universe is, of course, constantly growing. And how's that been for you to kind of see the show evolving in such a way?
I am always in awe as to how everyone comes together just to create this for the fans. And I'd actually like to show you something really special.
I'm Matt. I'm one of the stunt performers on The Witcher. I'm Dan.
This was
fun. I'm also a stunt performer. We can't be in the shot, so we need to be greened out. And they use the heads as sort of a reference, how the creature would move and so on. We'll be back at the studio choreographing different fights and that sort of thing, and just go into the set and then green suit up.
So obviously this is the real deal.
Yeah. This is us day to day. We're on set, holding up our green heads.
So this is the smallest. It's took a little bit of a beating over the course of filming. Extremely long pole. And obviously we need to maneuver the head as per the choreography.
This one, the other one.
This is tough to do, by the way.
Everywhere, and he gets, across, and it's just absolute chaos. It's what I think the fans want to see. Like right at the end, it just all kicks off and it's full on.
Ah, thanks for sharing that. I love when they bleep out stuff like this. Alright.
It seems there's always more to learn about the people behind the Witcher universe and the amazing work that they do. Next, we're going to take a look at The Witcher Monster Slayer, a mobile location-based AR game developed and published by the Spocko team. This new adventure in the world of The Witcher will be available shortly,
pixelated?
so let's dive in
Could
and
be a
hear what it's
monster or
all about
something.
from Raphael.
It's not a dong, man.
Have you ever dreamt of being a Witcher? In our game, The Witcher Monster Slayer, you'll strap on the boots of a professional monster hunter and explore the real world around you. By combining a location-based genre and augmented reality with the visual quality known from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, we're bringing the monster-infested realm directly into our world. To feel what it's like to be a professional Witcher for yourself, all you need is your phone. But our game is not just about hunting and killing beautifully rendered beasts. Above all, it's the adventures we live that define our experience as a Witcher. And that's what we'd like to share with you today.
The Witcher Monster Slayer tells your stories and takes you on adventures in a completely novel way. It will be witchering like you've never seen before.
Remember this voice?
Imagine facing
This
an
is Boris
iconic
Vido.
task that only a Witcher can handle.
I mean, this is...
Lifting a curse
I'm gonna
that has
play
turned an
this, but
innocent
I'm not
child
like
into a
big on ARG.
bloodthirsty Striga.
I don't play Pokemon
Since
Go.
when
like.
does gold burn?
But it looks
Few
cool.
have ever
like,
succeeded in
it looks
breaking
fun.
the spell or killing this particular beast, though many have tried. In The Witcher Monster Slayer, this task will fall to you. Put your bravery to the test and see if you have the power to save the cursed child, where so many others have failed. But to rise to this challenge, you'll have to pay attention
Camille,
to the
that's
world
also
around
here.
you, because
Every
the
Slavic
game
country
plays
is like
out in
that.
real time. Like a true Witcher, you'll need to prepare, bide your time, and wait until nightfall for the fearsome Striga to appear. And from there, everything is in your hands.
Since the worldwide premiere is just around the corner, prepare your phone and be ready for July 21st, 2021. The Witcher Monster Slayer is going to be available for free both on Android and iOS, and you can also pre-register right now on Google Play and grab some cool stuff on release date. The path awaits you.
Let's see. Is it out? Oh yeah, it's out. Alright. I mean, it's cool, but you know, Pokemon Go is not like... It's not the first ARG, but it's the most popular one. Yeah, it's free, like... Free is good, like... In 10 minutes... Yeah,
Clearly, there's plenty to look forward to in the coming months or even years. But there's one topic that we haven't really touched upon during this edition of WitcherCon, and that's figurines. So find out next how these collectible pieces were created, what inspired them, and what they really mean to their makers.
Hi everyone, I'm Alexandra Jaroszkiewicz from CD Projekt Red, where I'm e-commerce director here at the studio. I'm also responsible for the production of the CD Projekt Red gear line of Witcher World figures. We've been blown away by the love you've shown our Japanese-inspired takes on Geralt and Ciri. Today, I want to talk to you about the creative process behind these designs, which were so rewarding for artists to work on. Folklore and myths like the ones you see in The Witcher often share common themes across the world. Having previously played with this idea, we knew The Witcher's character could work in vastly different settings. Our partners have done some amazing work with figures in the past. They brought the designs of The Witcher to life in such a detailed way, staying very faithful to the style of the games. So, it was enticing for us to step outside the bounds of the dark medieval The Witcher is known for, and into a different kind of a dark medieval with Geralt running.
Oh man, I want this so much.
You can see that all you know and love about Geralt is right there in full force. He's still a monster slayer, he's still a master swordsman, but we've transported him right into the heart of feudal Japan and really made him feel like an authentic, wandering samurai. It was an exciting moment for us
They did
seeing the
announce
figure
it,
take shape.
actually.
We experimented with the style and spent a lot of time figuring out how to translate the White Wolf's character and the world of The Witcher, so it made sense in this new context, and honored it too. When we revealed Ronin Geralt, the feedback from fans was amazing. That gave the art team a lot of confidence to look deeper into this setting inspired by Japan's history, see what other aspects we could explore. We went on to do so with Ciri and the Kitsune. We wanted to make Ciri look and feel powerful and supreme, but also incredibly elegant. Her stance is tall and proud, very confident, and her traditional bright yellow yukata emphasizes that as well. And like Geralt, the character of Ciri is similar to what we know from the games, but this setting gives her a different essence. By taking Ciri and building this Japanese scene around her, it also feels like it adds to her mythology too. After all, she's the lady of space and time. I think she was the perfect follow-up to our first figure. We paid a lot of attention to the individual settings for each figure. We carefully planned the composition and design of each figure's base to help us tell their stories and set the scene. Geralt's is a quiet moment as he hunts his way through the Koyasan's Okunoin cemetery, while Ciri's is more destructive, placing her in the ruins of destroyed shrine. We took our time to make the base as detailed as possible, especially when it comes to grounding them in the Japanese culture and mythology. The creatures that accompany each character are another way we bring in additional Japanese influences that add to the story of each figure. The Ronin version of Geralt is accompanied by an owl, a friendly Tatarimoke spirit, as he prepares to battle evil Oni demons. Ciri, on the other hand, is followed by a wise Kitsune fox with 5 tails. With its yellow, witchery eyes, it acts as a guardian and guide as Ciri takes on a dangerous mission to take on a powerful yokai. Working on Geralt and Ciri has given us a lot of new ideas for possible stories to capture in these standalone scenes. And now I am happy to share with you our latest addition to our family of figures, Yennefer. We've designed Yen as a kunoichi, a female ninja. The colors and the atmosphere fit her beautifully, and the ninjutsu style connects nicely with her character. When we envision Yennefer in this magical Japanese realm, the ninjutsu aura makes total sense for such a mighty sorceress. It balances a mystic atmosphere with unmatched skill. That's Yen all over. Similarly to Geralt and Ciri, Yen is also accompanied by her own creature, a Nekomata. This two-tailed cat acts as a Yennefer's familiar. For a kunoichi of such great poise, power, and magical knowledge, this agile little feline friend makes the perfect companion. Like we did with our previous figures, we've put a lot of love into designing this latest reimagining, and we can't wait to show you the final result in not too long. Enjoy the rest of the WitcherCon. Bye!
I mean, like, I don't like collecting figurines, but those two I would definitely...
Now there's a person who's found their calling.
Yennefer.
And you know what? They're not alone. In the next
They cost a
installment of
fortune.
Humans of the Continent, we'll unveil another one of the invisible forces working passionately to make Season 2 the best it can be.
Whenever a cast member who's wearing lenses is scheduled to go on set, I'll be there. My name is Ashruti Patel, and I'm responsible for dealing with all the contact lenses.
Oh man,
The
I don't like
lenses
contact
are
lenses
all
one
supplied
bit.
by Eye Ink FX, Christina Patterson. She's hand painted every single one on the show.
This
With the
would
different
be
worlds
like,
of the Witchers,
oh.
there's been lenses in different worlds as well. So we've got Yennefer with the lenses. Some of the elves have it, and then when characters turn into like creatures, it's been great interacting with the cast members and seeing how that world's been created, from going from makeup to lenses to actually costume and seeing them all ready to go and acting on set, and just that journey. It's great to see that.
Man, YouTube removes so many comments like this. Brittany Fox just said yen, and YouTube was like, "Oh, are you sure you want to show this comment?"
I've been joined by the very lovely newbie, Paul. How are you enjoying your first WitcherCon?
I'm having a great time.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been thrown you
It's
in right at the
everyone's
deep
first
end, right from the
WitcherCon.
get-go, like, InfoCon.
Oh, it's all fun. I'm happy to be here.
Well, good, you know, and it's been lovely to have you, I have to say. And we've seen some awesome stuff so far, but, you know, don't go anywhere. We've got our lovely house band warming us up for the fourth and final panel, Tales from the White Wolf, which is where host Josh Horowitz is going to have a chat with Henry Cavill, one of your fellow Witcher brothers there.
Yes, my Witcher brother.
Yeah?
My Witcher brother. It was an absolute joy to work with him, and we shared a lot of the same ideas about what the Witchers were about. So it was nice to get excited about working with him on season 2.
Did you bond?
Well, we did bond. We did bond. There was, you know, during the COVID time, some elbows going on. But I'm just really excited to see what he's going to say about me, because I'm sure the excitement was just as high when he found out that Lambert was going to be played by an actor that he didn't know existed.
I'm sure, and I hope that it'll be equally gushy. Why don't we throw it over to the house band?
Here we go. Oh, nice. Shade the Witcher on Twitter.
These scars long have yearned for your tender caress, to bind our fortunes. Then what the stars own, rend my heart open. Then your love profess, a wide weaving fate in which we both atone. You flee, my dream come the morning. Your fate berries start, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you will. The wolf I will follow into the storm, to find your heart, its passion displaced by our ever-growing, hardening into stone. Amidst the cold, to hold you in a heated embrace. You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you will. I know not if fate would have us live as one, or if by love's blind chance we've been born. The wish I whispered when it all began, did it forge a love you might never have found. You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent berries start, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep.
Nice. Hey, Edzone. Oh, that was beautiful, man. That was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely
Thanks, Julia.
beautiful.
Thanks, Paul. Well, what would a WitcherCon be without the Witcher himself? He's the man of the hour. He's a super fan who happens to look amazing in a white wig. It's Mr. Henry Cavill. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how you doing, Josh?
It's so good to see you, man. Congratulations on, this is the first WitcherCon. This means you've done something right.
Yes, yeah, apparently so. Apparently so. It's exciting, very exciting.
Does it feel like a bit of validation? Obviously, this property means so much to you. You are a legit fan. But to know that the fans have come out in force and validated this first season and are ready for more just must mean the world to you.
Absolutely. It's, you know, when you go into a show like this or an IP like this, after having played the games and read the books, and I love it as much as all of the fans out there, and so I do everything I can to represent Geralt in the best way possible, and to have something like this happening, and a second season, it's all very exciting and very validating. And I'm just glad that whatever I'm doing, whatever we're doing, is entertaining.
By the way, thank you for welcoming me to your
Yeah, they made millions.
House.
They're sure they're gonna cancel it.
Welcoming environment. It's exactly what I imagined Henry Cavill's place to be.
This is well. I just figured if we're going to do it anyway, I might as well do it at my place.
Yeah, I'm glad you're comfortable. I'm excited and a little scared at the same time.
It's okay. So just don't touch anything.
Okay. Yeah.
Mostly poisonous.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Your buddy, your new co-star Paul, was just gushing about you to a degree. Talk to me a little bit about, maybe is there any reciprocal gushing you want to get out of the way first of all, and what's it like to welcome new cast members to season 2? Is there an initiation at all when you join the Witcher cast?
Lambert, what a jolly nice chap. I really got on well with Paul, and I hope that I get to work with him a lot more in the years to come. It's initiation ceremonies or anything like that. No, not really. It was obviously a slightly off-kilter year, and so the regular initiations of maybe hanging out in an English pub and having a Sunday roast weren't quite the thing. But we obviously, I hope they enjoyed working with me, but I definitely enjoyed working with them, and it was a lot of fun hanging out here.
we were joking before, we were looking at some footage before we got started of how ambitious the production is on this. I mean, the scale is gigantic. Is that the biggest difference between the production of something like Witcher and other things? You've been on major productions before, but is that the key difference, just sort of the practical sets, the environments? What would you say are the big differences?
I think it's more of a genre difference than anything else, because anything of scale is always scaled in its own way. And I mean, whether it be Superman, which it's contemporary, but it has the other fantastic elements to it, the superhero elements, which make things feel gigantic, even though it's just a gigantic green room. It's taken months of prep of wire work to get there. And then there's the genre stuff like this, where it's all sets and costumes and wigs and hours and makeup, and that makes that feel particularly large. But then there's also the Mission Impossibles, and Tom doesn't do anything on a small scale. And Chris McQuarrie sort of does everything.
Hey,
sort of, when he does it, it is magnificent.
Such profession.
And everything is big in its own way, really. But yeah, with this, it's you notice it because you're walking onto a set like this, and that's in a room filled with other sets like this. And it is extraordinary. It's a fun experience.
Lauren and Paul were also talking earlier about sort of the bond between Geralt and other Witchers, and how you kind of equated it in some ways to your own family dynamics with your brothers. Is that fair to say? Was that a useful tool for you, applying your own experiences in your own family to even this fantastical world?
I think when it comes to the Witcher family, if you will, it's the same kind of family tag that I would put on not only my actual brothers of blood, but the people who are my friends, who I call brother. And it's not something I just throw around. And those people who I do call that, they are very, very close to me. They are akin to a brother. And so that's more so how I would probably refer to as the Witchers, because we come from all different walks of life. We have our different opinions, our different modus operandi, and we don't necessarily all agree, and because we don't have that family thing, which is, you know, you don't choose family, and so there's a lot more. Again, this is a greater debate, but with family, there tends to be a lot more in the way of highs and lows because maybe it's because you always imagine family's going to be there.
Yes.
And
no matter what.
And even if you do something fairly horrific to one of them, and it's with these guys, it's not necessarily like that because yes, they are a small guild, if you will, a very small and an increasingly smaller group of people. But it's because they are a unit like that and because they have this shared sense of sorrow and loss and the world is changing and they are becoming more and more obsolete, that they do have a kinship there, but not the same way that I may have with my brother Nick, Charlie, Simon, Piers.
Sure.
But maybe in the same way I may have with someone else like Ben.
One of the major themes of the show, maybe the biggest theme, is destiny. And I don't know about you, but this feels like this was destined to happen for you. You've chased this role. This was very important to you. Do you believe in destiny? Do you believe you were destined to play a role in The Witcher?
I have been asked this question a lot, and I've definitely debated fate and destiny with my team, and we all have very different opinions. But one of my theories, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to call it destiny when this is my theory, is that everyone has a destiny. It's about achieving one's destiny. One has to unlock certain levels, if you will, before you can use that skill tree, if you know, to use a fantasy gaming term. And that's what I feel destiny is. And so I had to achieve a certain number of things to get this opportunity to play Geralt. It wasn't going to happen if I just lay on my sofa eating pizza.
You have to meet the moment. You have to rise to, yes.
Absolutely.
You set yourself up for success and you got there.
Yes, in a way, yeah. I've been very fortunate. I've been given a lot of opportunity and it's about running with those. And with The Witcher, yes, I pursued it very hard. I was very excited about the concept of playing Geralt and I got the opportunity to do it. And it's something I'm thankful for.
I mean, we've talked about this before. You've had this very unique career in that you've played a bunch of the biggest icons, literally, in the history of pop culture.
Yeah, it's getting there, yeah.
It's amazing.
I just need to play Tom Cruise next.
Yeah, exactly. You heard it here first, Tom Cruise biopic. Does Tom know? But this one does, this must stand apart for you because, yes, there are things like Superman and Sherlock Holmes, and those have meanings to the entire world. But something about this, my sense is that this means something different to you. Did it mean something more when you landed this role versus these other fantastic opportunities?
Yes, the other opportunities were very important to me. I loved Superman before I played Superman.
Right.
But there's something about having had a hobby, and a major part of that hobby was playing The Witcher, Witcher 3 specifically, and then reading books and fantasy and loving that sort of thing, and then finally getting to play one of those characters was, yes, it does somehow make it more personal, and it makes it something which I fight longer and harder for sure.
Talk to me a little bit about growing up, and I know this about you, that again, you lived and breathed this stuff, but as a kid, what did fantasy mean to you, and how were you introduced to it?
My dad would read me books, and I have this vivid memory. I don't remember the words, but I remember lying in bed and hearing his voice. He had a great reading voice.
Mm-hmm.
Still does.
Wait, is your dad still reading to you at night?
Yeah, I mean, I can't read. Yeah, I have people who read my scripts to me, and I just repeat the lines on camera.
Secret to every success, yeah.
I have one of those little earwigs. My dad would read to me, and he got me into the fantasy genre and the sci-fi genre, and then very much computer games as well. And so reading fantasy has been, that's what I read. Those are the books that people have, all the different kind of books they read when they have time off. And when I have time off, when I have free time, when it's not scripts, it's fantasy books and sci-fi books.
Did you, as a kid, how were you expressing yourself? Were you drawing or writing? Were you play acting as a kid? How did it kind of manifest?
I don't think I drew or wrote. I'm sure my mum would be able to tell you a story otherwise about that. I do remember having a creative lean where there was one time I was reading a book about Douglas Bader, and I loved the book, and I think I was about 11, so practicing for my common entrance exams, which gets you into secondary school. And there was a question which said, write an essay on this sentence or this picture. And it was a picture of a clown. And so then I then wrote a story about a Spitfire pilot who started off as a clown.
Sure.
And so that was very much my lean in writing. I would always be quite creative and try and write what I wanted to write. But more to your question, as I did in art class build a little castle out of clay because I wanted that for my Warhammer miniatures. I was collecting, I think, wood elves at the time, and I wanted that so I could put them on the castle. Of course, it's completely wrong. They don't live in castles, they live in the woods. But it was still something which I did, and I think that's how I expressed myself. And so it was storytelling and verbally and building castles out of clay.
You're still doing that,
and
metaphorically
cool
now. Yeah. Gaming. You mentioned gaming, which obviously is a key component of how you entered this world. Do you remember when you first played The Witcher 3 and what sucked you in?
I actually played The Witcher 2 first.
Okay.
And I was very busy at the time. I read some good reviews, dipped into it, and I was like, okay, I can't immerse myself just yet, and so dipped out and never got back into it.
Right.
And so Witcher 3, when it came out, I just got stuck in, and the world building in that is so fantastic. They've set their rules. The graphics in there still stand up today. I mean, I've been playing on my 3090, and thank you very much. And people screaming out there who still haven't managed to get one.
Man, God damn it.
It's The Witcher, guys. Cut him some slack.
Yeah, it's The Witcher. And so
Can I borrow the GPU?
The graphics still stand up, and that's what I loved the most about it, was the immersion in that world. And you could really feel like you could just go do anything. And the detail was extraordinary. The characters, the storytelling, the nature of what everything was so wonderful. And all from Sapkowski's amazing work. And it was an adaptation, yes, but a sort of a post-adaptation.
Right.
It's post the books, but they're also doing some stuff which kind of happened during the books. And I thought that was a nice way of doing it, because they're not really changing any major rules, but it's more like an ode to that world.
Yeah.
And I think they did an amazing job.
Well, it's a great example of this series, this IP, as you say, honoring kind of the medium in every form. The books work as the books, the games work as the games, and your show works as the show. And they're not literal adaptations of each. They're each embracing the form they're a part of.
Yeah.
It's a very intelligent way to go. So have you played the game since being The Witcher, and is that an odd experience?
I funnily enough, not long ago, fired it up again, and just because I wanted to have a look. And I don't know if I told you this, it may have been you, but I played the game through a couple of times, both on the second hardest difficulty, Blood and Broken Bones, I think it is.
Yeah.
And then Death March, which is the not
Kim
fun
was
way
here.
of playing the game. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to have some not fun way of playing the game. And I definitely need to re-warm myself up before I get into that. It took me 3 goes to get past the ghouls at the beginning. And I was not impressed with myself. So I may go back to Blood and Broken Bone and then have a go at it again, because I haven't finished the expansions.
Right.
And it'd be nice to actually go back there and play the expansions.
So the series is announced that they're developing a series, and what does Henry Cavill, this obsessive lover of gaming and this specific game and this actor, do? Do you immediately call up Team Cavill and be like, let's make this happen? How did it go down?
I called up Team Cavill, I called up my agents, and I said, guys, I hear this is happening. Let's get on top of this. Let's get ahead of this before anyone else jumps at the opportunity. And so they were calling, and I believe it was at Netflix almost immediately. And they said, look, we haven't even got a showrunner yet. We haven't got anything yet. So come back later.
Right.
And eventually Lauren was brought on as showrunner. And so we kept on calling. And then I went to go meet her. and that was our first meeting. And then actually didn't get the role. It was a, you know what, it's thank you, but no thanks. And,
Right.
and then they went through a full casting process. And then I think then they went, oh, actually, let's maybe revisit that.
Right.
And ended up working out in my favor.
Wow.
So I went from heartbreak to feeling quite good about it.
I was going to say, that must have been crushing at the time.
It was a little crushing. It was a
Yeah.
little crushing because I actually hadn't read the books until Lauren had mentioned them to me. So
Yeah.
Lauren introduced me to the books. And I was like, oh my goodness me, I thought the books were like a play off the games because they all had the game cover on.
Mm.
And so I then went and read them and I thought, these books are absolutely spectacular. I read them all in record time.
Wow.
And I was literally landing on in a plane, landing at one stage. I think it was reading A Shard of Ice. And I didn't want to get up from my seat even though everyone was moving. And I was like, no, I haven't finished yet. You don't know what's happening.
This guy, man.
And so then I got the news and I thought, oh, okay, well, it's understandable.
Sure.
Maybe that's not where they want to go with it. To have Superman playing your character is definitely an understandable choice. And so it was a heartbreak, yeah. But then later down the line, the opportunity popped up again.
When you read for it, when you started to kind of give your take on the role, did you know what you wanted to do with Geralt? Did you have an idea of like what it sounded like, what the voice was, mannerisms, physicality, or did that take some time?
Physicality and mannerisms I find take time, because it's about living in the skin of the character, and unless you're doing rehearsals all day long, which it often isn't the case, it's about time on screen and time interacting, and then you find it, and then you find that place where the character sits within yourself. Voice-wise, I do remember saying to Lauren, so for the rehearsal with Alec and Lauren, and not rehearsal, for the audition, and I said, do you want me to put a bit of rasp to my voice or anything?
Right.
And they're like, no, just your normal voice. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, that's a cool way to go. And did that and obviously got the role. And then I found throughout shooting, there was one, I think it was episode 3, it's actually King Foltest, that scene where I lock everyone out of the room and walk back in.
Yeah.
I didn't do that intentionally. That happened by accident. And that was after the Christmas break. And then afterwards I was like, oh my God, I just played a whole scene in the wrong voice. And I realized that voice made a lot of things sit better when it came to delivery of certain lines and delivery of certain dialogue. And I thought, actually, I kind of prefer this. And I know it's very similar to Doug Cockle's amazing work. And that was definitely a concern of mine. I thought, I don't want to seem like I'm plagiarizing another professional's extraordinary work. And I had a look at it, had a listen to it, and I thought, actually, they are different enough. It's clearly inspired by. But I did my own thing, and then I spoke to Alec and I spoke to Lauren, and they both said, yeah, it's okay, actually. If you want to do that, we can go with that, and we'll do the rest, redo the rest.
You can
We actually
distinguish
ended up
these
reshooting
two.
a lot anyway, so
When
I
they're
could
speaking,
go back
definitely.
to
Doug and
both
Henry.
do the voice, which felt natural to me.
Is it a tough voice to kind of maintain through production?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Surprisingly not. It's it sounds like it is.
Yeah.
But it's about just finding that. I mean, season 1, I was still trying to find it.
Sure.
And you can definitely tell when I have. But in season 2, it's not difficult to do at all. It's actually quite easy.
What about the moment when, I'm sure you went through a lot of iterations of like tweaking the look, of making sure it's exactly what everybody wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Do you remember a specific moment of seeing yourself in the mirror and knowing that you were satisfied, the production was satisfied?
Well, we went through a lot, and I feel like Geralt's look found itself throughout the season. I think it started off in a place which was perhaps the nose was a little too close to the painting. It was like, yeah, this is great. And then released to the world, and the world's like, what is this? And you're like, oh God, yeah, what is that? That's a good point, actually. And so I'm glad that happened, because it gave me a chance to just start to find it, take a step back from the painting and go, right, okay, I need to really focus and concentrate here. And not that I wasn't, but I need to get back to big picture.
Yep.
And Jackie Rathor, who does my hair, she's my hairstylist. She was in charge of the wig, and she didn't get to build the wig. And so then she kind of adopted it, and then she worked in it and worked in it. She was taking it home every evening taking it home. She was dreaming about that darn thing. and then eventually I think she crushed it. So that it's through the season you can tell, and you're like, that's where it starts to look really good. And that's after Jackie has had her hands on it for a while.
Have you kept a wig as a souvenir, or is that the last thing you want to see after you're done with production?
I haven't kept one yet, no, because they're actually quite valuable.
I'm
and
sure.
Because Jackie's done so much work on them, that I would never want to take one in case I damage it or something, or someone spills coffee on it. It's not a great look.
You told me once that you're a details guy. What are the details that you wanted to see in this show as a Witcher fan? What do you take pride in?
It's, for me, the important thing this season was to bring Geralt as close to the books as the vision and the plot would allow. And I wanted him to be more verbose, more of an intellectual, more representative of a man who's lived 70 years and has a philosophical lean. And can be mopey at times, but is also, he's wise, he's been around, and he's a nice guy, despite the fact that he has moments of unpleasantness and is very capable of doing extraordinary violence. It's his intentions are often, and that's the tragedy of the character, pure.
Right.
And so I wanted to really reflect that as much as possible. And it's very easy to fall down the line of him being the grumpy snowman, and there's a comedy aspect to that, and I wanted to lean away from that. I wanted it to be less about, I played the season 1 way deliberately, which was him out in the wilds and without the opportunity for vast swathes of dialogue. It's, I thought, best be the man who says less, because that seems like he's thinking more.
Right.
And that was the intention with that. But once you get into a scenario with Cirilla and the Witchers and his home space, and with those people who he already knows, then it was of the opinion that you had to let him be verbose and be philosophical and speak more and be intellectual, because that's what he is. He's not just a big old white-haired brute.
We started out by talking a little bit about just the nature of this, which is WitcherCon, the first WitcherCon, and really celebration of this show, this IP, and the fans. And I'm just curious for you, when the show dropped and the response was and has been as positive as it's been, like, were you out there looking at the memes? Were you looking at the responses, or was that a dangerous place for you to be? Or was it, I would imagine it would be thrilling to see all that, to see folks interacting with something you've put your heart and soul into.
Absolutely, yes. I was out there, I was looking at it all. The memes I found hilarious. I really did. I really enjoy that stuff. I do spend a lot of time sneaking around Reddit and reading all the forums, because that just the audience is who this is for.
Yep.
And I listen to them, and I think it's very important to listen to an audience and see what everyone's saying. So even if you didn't nail it the first time, you can start to adjust. You can start to tweak. You can start to sort of caress it into something which does honor to the amazing material that Sapkowski created.
Yeah.
And so I was reading, positive and negative, and I think it's important to do it. It's really important.
Did you guys know that Toss a Coin to Your Witcher was going to become the earworm that it became?
I mean, it was pretty catchy, but I don't think, maybe in other rooms that were discussing these kind of things, they're like, this is definitely going to be a hit. But when I heard it the first time, I was singing it to myself when I was watching all the stuff before doing press and all sorts.
I'm good.
And that was one of the things that stuck in my head. And so, I think I probably knew subconsciously, but just didn't actively say, this is going to be an earworm, for sure. Mark my words.
And now it's your ringtone on your phone, which is a choice.
It is. And Joey's the background.
So we know from a quiz earlier in the con about all the nicknames for your character. There are a bunch of them. I'm of the mind that more is more, so I want to propose to you some new nicknames for Geralt.
Cannot wait.
You can yay or nay them. We're friends here. It's all good.
Okay.
I think we're all good. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Have a boot dagger. Cool.
All right. Let's take a look at a photo, and I'll give you my take. Let's start with the first photo, please. Henry.
Big tree guy.
Okay. I called this guy the sketchy Silverado.
You know what? The sketch. Yes.
I mean, it's white here technically, I suppose, but I mean...
No, but there's lots of silver there.
There is a lot of silver. I feel like if you go into a bar and say 1 beer for the sketchy Silverado, you're always going to get a beer.
Yeah, or you'll be led into some crazy dungeon downstairs for special clientele.
Exactly, a special club.
But this, if I walked outside of a bar and that guy was standing there, definitely the sketchy Silverado.
Yeah, I might go to a different bar if I saw this guy outside the bar, but yes. Let's go to the next one. This I call the bathing brute.
Yes.
It's accurate.
It is accurate.
It's
He's definitely bathing.
This is a case where less said the better, I feel like. The audience just wants to probably just take this in for the moment.
Yeah, let them soak like I was.
Let's go to another very literal one. This is, I call this Roach Rider.
Roach Rider sounds like something from some post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
Like sort of from the Atlantic Basin and the Roach Riders.
The Roach Riders took us out. Or it's a, like an insect repellent company.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's too much about Roach and not enough about you, now that I think about it.
If someone takes this and they put some kind of, if they, like in Photoshop, just some big spray cans.
Exactly. This is a new business opportunity for you. Yeah. Next one, please. Tall, dark, and growly.
I would say tall, dark, and slimy.
Yeah, that must be a fun day on set. That must be a happy memory.
Oh, actually, I've got a story about that.
Please.
If we have time.
Yeah.
It's this day, Cal had run out of my trailer, and there was these metal stairs outside the trailer, and they all had holes in them, to obviously so they don't become flooded with rain.
Right.
Cal got one of his claws stuck in it as he jumped off, and all I heard him do was yelp, and I thought, oh, he's landed badly on his shoulder or something. And went up to him, and he was looking shamefaced and holding his paw up, and he had ripped his claw all the way off apart from a little bit, and lots of blood, all sorts. We had just been called to set, and I was going, okay, how do we do this? Leah, could you please take him to the vet? And I'll go to set. She said, you gonna be okay? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Just let's make sure Cal is looked after and he's gonna be okay. I get a call as I'm getting gooped up. And Leah says, right. Vet says, should be fine. They're gonna remove the nail. And they need to put him under. And the vet has just warned and said, look, dog's going under. They may not necessarily wake up. Wow. And so I'm sitting there thinking, I'm never gonna see my dog again.
Oh my God.
And I'm here on set doing this rather than with him. And this was a particularly rough moment, but it was freezing cold outside, right? There wasn't really a warm tent set up, even though I've been covered in, I think this was yogurt, mostly yogurt and something else, and some kind of fruit, I think. And little bits of stuff to make it look like intestines. And I stood in front of the lights outside, and I was like, this is the good warm spot. Right. And I realized I was smoking, because it was so cold outside and all the liquid had heated up in my costume. And so I then said, look, we need to take advantage of this. I think it was Alex who was shooting this. And he said, this is amazing. And so if you watch it again, you'll actually see smoke coming off me throughout the scene. It's
so you're Smoky Yogurt, that's your nickname. That's your...
Smoky Yogurt, yes.
And Cal's okay, most importantly.
Cal is fine.
Nice.
As a new dog owner, that
would have
really hit me.
The story.
Oh,
yeah, he died.
No, don't even joke. Let's go to the next one. I feel like you have a future in Vegas as the Magic Man.
Oh, yes. It's like, pick a card. Not that card!
The choreography's already there. You just need some backup dancers.
I said 4 of clubs.
They fixed the Nilgard.
And the last one, I call this is my name if I were a Witcher. Let's just call him Jerry. Good old Jerry.
He's the guy at the bar. He's always there, same spot.
Jerry.
Bit weird. Yeah, smells kind of funny. Jerry. It's Jerry. Don't worry about Jerry.
I wasn't going weird. I thought he was cool, but okay.
He could be cool. Depends on what you think. Nothing wrong with smelling funny, folks.
Nothing wrong. That's a PSA for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we can take that off and continue. Those are some new nicknames for The Witcher. Congratulations.
I love it. Those are good nicknames.
Man, this is a long
Let's
show.
tease a little bit more on season 2, if we could. We have a bit of a way to go, and you alluded to this a little bit earlier, but can you elaborate a little bit more on Geralt's journey, his relationship with Ciri, for instance? What are we going to see? He's a father figure, presumably?
Yes, I mean, as I said before, Geralt he's a wise man. He's 70 years old.
No
and,
footage.
There was some discussions about him sort of struggling with everything, and I thought, yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be a different. This is a different turn for him.
Yeah.
But he's also wise. You know, he's 70. He's probably seen a few children in his time, and out and about in the world, and knows what they're like. And he's heard stories from people, and he's interacted with people who are far more difficult than maybe Cirilla will be.
Yeah.
And he, yes, I wanted him to be warm. If not a father figure, then definitely an older brother figure. And it to have this kind of just a caring nature to him, but also tough, because he's not going to be super soft. He himself has lived a very hard life, and she is about to live a very hard life. She's no longer a princess, and so he's not going to be softening her up any further. He's going to be being straight down the line. And that was very important to me, that Geralt had a sense of humor, while also being tough and also being intellectual and wise. And so I tried to lean into that as much as possible when it came to the relationship with Ciri.
Another important relationship with Jaskier. Where are we going to see?
Well, I can't really say too much about that. Okay. I will say that I absolutely love working with Joey, and Joey is very well versed in the books and the lore and the IP. And so it's always a pleasure sitting on set with him, waxing lyrical.
Another one you probably can't say much about, but everyone wants to know, of course, there were fireworks in the first season between Yennefer and Geralt.
Yes.
What can we expect? Presumably, hopefully, we'll see her again.
Again, I can't talk about much, but people are fans of the IP, in for plenty of surprises.
Let's talk about a familiar character, but one we haven't seen yet, Vesemir.
Yes, indeed.
Are you excited for the fans to finally see this relationship depicted on screen?
Absolutely, yes. Kim and I, we worked with each other a lot to try and create a bond between the two, and something that was important, and something that was genuinely caring, and not so simple, not so basic, not just like ugh men and we do this and we kill stuff. We wanted it to be sensitive, and because I believe that real men are very sensitive. They are very capable of doing things which can be like violent if possible or necessary, but at the same time they are incredibly capable of love and caring amongst men and towards children and family and all sorts. And so we wanted to make sure that was a core element to their relationship, and it wasn't too driven by any kind of conflict which was being introduced.
The big question, obviously the fans really want to know, in season 2, is there going to be an earworm as delicious as toss a coin to your Witcher?
There is something pretty darn good, actually. I mean, Joey's very talented, and there is something pretty darn good, but only time will tell.
This is just from the fans, not from me. More bathtub scenes, or is Geralt now taking up showers? What's happening with his bathing routine now?
Yeah, Geralt only showers from now on. He invented the shower,
right?
For this very reason. No, actually, there are people, myself personally, there's no bathtub scenes, but people will not be disappointed. There's plenty of man flesh to be observed.
One key relationship we haven't talked about Roach, season 2. Now I think you have something, maybe a treat for the audience, actually, a little peek.
Yes, a little sneak peek at Roach for season 2. I will.
That's a gorgeous shot. What do you remember? What can you say about this Roach and this shot and this scene?
Well, this is Roach. This is Zeus from the Roach who we all know and love, and this scene is right in the beginning. And they've actually done a very good job here, because it really looks like winter snow. Yeah. I think it might have been, oh no, it was quite cold that day, but it definitely wasn't snowing that much. But yeah, this is just a beautiful piece of work. I think this was Romain's work as DOP, and he is extraordinary, very talented man. And yeah, this is myself and Cirilla at the beginning of our journey.
Had you worked a lot with horses prior to Witcher, and how have you been?
I've done horse work over the years, yes, but for The Witcher, because of the Roach relationship, and I didn't know how far they were going to go with it, how much riding was going to be done, but I wanted to be well-versed, and it was about literally getting back in the saddle.
Yeah.
It had been many, many years. And I had the wonderful opportunity of working with the horse masters there and in Hungary, and I had an amazing time. I was riding 6 hours a day.
It cannot be Netherlands
to begin
manner.
with. And then when I came on to season 2, I was getting up at like 5 in the morning, sometimes 4, just to get up and ride before work. So I was using that as my cardio, basically. So doing an hour and a half of riding and yeah, just getting better and better and better if I could. And yeah, had the great opportunity of working with everyone there. So I was very fortunate.
Awesome. So we, as you would expect, we have some fan questions for you. So I'm gonna hit you with these.
Jesus,
Some of
this
these
is long.
you probably can't say much, but we're gonna see what we
Been
can get.
live for 4 hours
This is,
almost.
the first one's from Melissa on Twitter. And she asks, there it is. How did you approach Geralt's emotional state after the events of season 1? How will you losing Yen and Jaskier, but finding Ciri at the end
hungry,
affect
dude.
Geralt in season 2?
Well, for me, it's always important to draw from the source material, and I wanted to try and keep it as close as possible to that. Yes, the loss of Yennefer is a great blow for Geralt, and it's something which he buries deep. But he's also, as I said, a man of action, a wise man, and so I should probably stop saying man, mutant. And his focus is Cirilla, and he has to push his grief down and away and to one side, because that's not what this is about anymore. He's lost plenty of people. He's lost Witcher brothers, and Yen is particularly an emotional center for him, but he's got a job to do, and he's got to do it. And so it was an underlying thing, but I actually focused more so, Melissa, on being there for Cirilla.
Jessica on Facebook wants to know, what is your favorite Witcher book in the series and why?
I mean, I haven't read the full series in a while, since just before I got the role, actually. But I have read the first 3 books a number of times, and I think it still stands, and there could be a lot of reasons for this, that Blood of Elves was actually one of my favorite books. Perhaps it's just because we spend so much time with Geralt in different stories in the first 2 books, and finally we get one continuous time with him. Perhaps it was also the fantasy lover and gamer in me who got to see the background of the Witchers and got to see where they came from. That was really, really interesting to me. And also to get an insight to Geralt's personal beliefs and where he stands, and when it comes to world politics, when it comes to the elves and man and indeed gnomes and dwarves as well, what his opinion is and how he educates Cirilla on these points. And so for me, Blood of Elves I thought was a great book. I really, really enjoyed it, and that's one which always stuck with me.
At Real Ermin on Twitter wants to know, what have you learned from the first season of The Witcher that you were bringing into the second
Dude, I'm gonna go grab food.
Real Ermin. Do you reckon
this is
their
gonna
name
go
is
on
Ermin,
forever?
Or this is the real Ermin. This isn't just a fake Ermin. This is the real one.
Yeah, the real Ermin. Please stand up.
They talk about a lot, but they don't show a lot.
You had a lot of time, presumably, between first season to the second season.
That wigs take a lot of work. Yeah, wigs are important. Yeah,
this is a valuable lesson.
And yeah, make sure you've got a good wig worker.
Yeah, always.
Jackie nailed it.
At Amanda T on Twitter wants to know, will we get to see Geralt use more signs this season?
We will, yes. It was something which I and I'm sure everyone else wanted to introduce a bit more, was Geralt's capabilities and exploring the witches. In there are definitely some cases where discussions were had and another decision was made, and there were discussions that had other opportunities, and then indeed a sign was used.
Excellent.
Yeah, this is long,
Viscount
good.
Yask wants to know on Twitter, we have a lot of new characters announced for season 2. As a big fan of the original material, which of them are you most excited to see?
I cannot talk about it.
I don't know if I can actually say there's any one which I'm more excited than the others, because there are so many fantastic characters, especially as anyone who loves the games, you really get to explore those characters in different ways. But Vesemir was always an important one to me.
Sure.
And that relationship was essential. The relationship between Geralt and the other witches was something which mattered greatly to me. And I loved the way, just to see again, Blood of Elves, when reading it and seeing their interaction and the way they become these wonderful, loving uncles to Ciri was touching, because they are potentially these monstrous beings who live in the mountains, and actually they are quite soft and lovely and kind.
Before we end this, I'm hoping on behalf of the audience that maybe you've brought something special.
Please do.
No.
Damn it.
It's good to see everyone. Thank you very much. No, just joking. We have a special teaser trailer for all of you.
Thank you.
So, I'm your destiny?
You're much more than that, Cirilla.
I need to understand some things.
The world is changing. Centra isn't safe for you anymore.
What exactly
Nice,
is
dude.
that we're in?
You're home. Finally.
Who the hell are you? Sometimes I feel so afraid. I feel like I could burn the whole world.
Facing your fear is not easy, but I am here for you. When I say run, you run. When I say hide,
We have to stay.
you hide. Run! Vesemir said that the world outside these walls is a dangerous place. But you can find power and purpose. Where is she?
What if your princess is more than you bargained for? Are you sure you're ready for this?
Alright. Not bad. Looks fun.
Welcome back.
Alright. Nice.
Well, we can't see the audience at home, but on behalf of them, I think they're going something like this.
I was really hoping you were going to fully commit to that.
It looks awesome. It looks epic. It's everything
That was
we want
nice.
and
Yeah.
more. Congratulations. December
It was
17th.
nice.
We have a date. Can't come soon enough. Thank you, as always, buddy, for bringing your passion to all your projects, but especially
Much better
this
than
one
the
that
first
means so much
season.
to you
Much better.
and the fans out there. It's a pleasure, as always, to catch up with you.
Thank you. It's been great to see you. And there's something I've been dying to say. Sorry, this is completely. I just every day on set, on this set, I was grinding my teeth because there was no one who would know the reference that I'm about to give you. And I mean, even if you don't get it, there's some cameras here and there are people at home who will get it.
Okay.
Do you know Warhammer at all? Warhammer 40,000, that kind of stuff? That
Not
world?
the greatest expert.
Okay,
so,
that's
yeah.
fine. That's fine. There's people at home who are just gone, oh yeah.
Yeah, they're leaning in now. Go for it.
That chandelier looks like a Blackstone fortress. And I know that no one on set would have got that. And so I have been biting my tongue about that, so I don't sound like too much of a crazy
You're in the
person.
right place at WitcherCon to say that. You found your people, my friend.
Yeah, and I mean, the set design of Andrew Laws is amazing.
I love it.
And I don't know if that was his inspiration, but that thing looks like a Blackstone Fortress.
I love it. Well, as I said, it's all about passion, and I love how much you bring to this project, and it shows in the finished product. Thank you again for your time, buddy.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Julia, who's going to wrap up this first WitcherCon for all of us.
Man,
Julia.
this was long, dude.
That was it for our fourth and
That was
final
fun.
panel. I think Josh and Henry could have kept chatting for ages, but you know what? I got the house band eagerly waiting in the wings. But before I hand it over to them one last time, I'd really like to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone across the world for watching and making WitcherCon 2021 so special. Together, we followed the path, and it's led us to some pretty amazing things. You know, we've been on set, inside Caremore, we picked the brains of the cast, the crew, and the developers. But there is still a little bit more. CD Projekt Red invites you to relive the best moments from the biggest Gwent the Witcher card game tournament in its history, World Masters. The rebroadcast starts immediately after our end credits.
Oh man,
and,
I
you
thought
know,
I had
just
to...
in case you missed some of today's panels or you're hoping to see even more reveals and announcements, we'll be airing WitcherCon once more for those of you in the other hemisphere in just a few hours' time. Now it's time for the band to take us away one last time. Goodbye.
Let's listen to it. That was fun. That was fun. That was really fun. At least the ending side. Like, there were some moments which were kind of boring, but it was a tiny bit too long. Like, Jesus. Like 3 hours. Like, that was a lot. Yeah, Kaer Morhen looks great, actually. They nailed the aesthetic. Great music, yeah. Nice, dude. Alright, so I turned off the wrong thing. So alright. So that was fun. That was actually fun, but long, dude. That was long. Like, that was too long. But yeah, what do you guys think, guys and gals? So tomorrow I will have a video where I'm going to kind of group everything we learned from today, talk about everything. I'm gonna go eat now because it's been if they only told me to prepare for a 3-hour live stream, I was expecting like an hour, maybe 45 minutes, but yeah, this was a true convention, I guess. So this is probably gonna become a yearly thing, and especially if it's actually gonna be a physical thing with people, you know, arriving there and hanging out, that would be really cool. Nobody with ADHD is still here. That's true. That's true, man. That's true. I barely held out. I was about to jump from this chair, dude. Like, I have no problems with it, but I have a tiny little bit of ADHD, man. Not too much. I can stand in one place for a very long time, but not for too long. But yeah, I'll have a video tomorrow, and I'll have more streams like this because this is really fun. Like, seriously, like doing live streams like this. Thank you so much for everyone for coming. We had a lot of people, actually. I think there was like peak of like 500 people. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the live stream. Hopefully you had some fun. And yeah. So yeah, no Witcher Next Gen, that's probably gonna be shown soon, but also I'm guessing at least we got that cover art, which made Geralt actually look different. So I'm guessing maybe they even changed a little bit of like complexion of Geralt and etc, etc. So they didn't talk much about anything else regarding next gen though. But yeah, attention span is too low in 2021. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Alright, so yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm gonna go eat now, and tomorrow I'll have a video covering everything like this and obviously more. So part 2 is just gonna be the same thing, but it's gonna be at 3 AM my time. I'm not gonna be standing here from 3 AM to 6 AM watching this again. So yeah. But yeah, they didn't show any trailers whatsoever for next gen. Hopefully it comes out this year. I'm a little bit worried there might be some delays. I don't know. Like from Cyberpunk, I don't know. But yeah. So many release dates. Yeah. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming. Again, this is LKM signing out, and I'll see everyone later. If you want, you can follow me up on Twitter, join our Discord server and continue discussion there. And yeah, see you everyone tomorrow in a new video. Bye bye.